Hello, welcome back to City Planner Plays, where we are building Bluffside Crossing, and I've been talking for about a minute and a half on mute because it's one of my streams, and of course that's what I'm going to do. How are you all doing today? I'm really happy that you're here. There are so many Cities Skylines 2 videos out there right now, and you could be watching those, and you're here with me. That said, I hope you watch them. There are so many excellent creations out there by so many excellent creators. Definitely check them out. If you haven't seen mine, I would encourage you to check that out as well. No mic. Can you guys hear me now? I know we're a little bit behind. All right, we're good. We're good. Thank you. So anyway, the reason why I wanted to stream today is because, first of all, I mean, this is just a mess, and it's going to hold me back from releasing the next video in the series. So I thought it'd be fun to try to sort this out on stream. And while we're doing that, we can talk a little bit about Cities Skylines 2. We were limited to 30-minute videos, so there's not a lot that you can say in 30 minutes, but I can say a lot in stream. So if you have any specific questions, drop them in the chat, and I will basically go back and forth between trying to fix this and trying to answer your questions. Hey, Silent Phil, you're good. I'm glad that you guys can finally hear me now. I want to see, though, where's everyone at today? Where are you at? Are you... Is this a good time for me to be streaming for you, or is it just way late? Yes. Alyssa, Mariemont, Ohio is the name of the town. In fact, while I'm waiting to see where you guys are from today, I will show you that. And this is actually the place that I was taking some inspiration from. Obviously, I was working off the old school plans and not the actual city. I think it's kind of a tragedy that we have all these roads. I think these are state highways cutting right through the center of town, but the layout is really interesting, and this is actually another John Nolan plan, so I thought it'd be fun to show another one of those. And holy cow, just rolling in, I see Denver, Olympia, Hamburg, Costa Rica, England, California, Germany, Chicago, Sweden, Norway, Boston, Philippines, Las Vegas, Poland, Appleton, another Wisconsinite here, North Texas, that's where half my family's from, Portland. Actually, it's Atlanta, Texas, if anyone's curious. Weird place. Dallas, Germany, Barcelona, Montreal, Canada. The UP, love it. Ashland, Wisconsin. I love to see that. India. The moon. Des Moines. India again, Montreal, Norway. Galena, beautiful city. Milwaukee, DC, Stockholm. Dubai, Portugal, holy cow, all around the world, London. I just appreciate all of you being here. So this is the city that we took inspiration from, and this is what we'll be working from. But the further I get away from this in Cities Skylines 2, in the build that I'm putting together, the more we'll deviate from this. This is a very specific layout based on John Nolan's plan. They did deviate a bit. One of the things that you'll notice that I did in my city is I put the high school right here. That is because it was in the plan, but it's a little bit different the way that it's actually laid out in the city. Same thing with the cemetery and things of that nature. So I'm going to try to stick to the original plan and then deviate from that a bit. So if you're curious about that and you want to look at the original plans for that, I would highly encourage you to look up the Mariemont plan, Mariemont, Ohio. So very interesting to look at those old plans. Singapore, holy cow. Clearwater County, love it. Verde Beach, love that too. All right, let's head back to this. And we've got a lot of work to do. Basically, I remember this series of episodes. The channel was considerably smaller. There were a group of, 50 to 100 regular viewers who were basically talking with me about the best way to resolve this. Thank you so much. Poplar Ponderosa, thank you for becoming an associate planner. I really appreciate that. So we went back and forth. We came up with this, and I'm not sure that this is necessarily a transportation problem as much as it's a land use problem, but ultimately the land uses are here, so we will have to find a transportation solution for it. And this happens all the time in the real world too, where rather than where transportation problems are actually land use problems, land uses that are inappropriately placed. What I mean by that is here we've got this postal facility that is just dumping traffic into this area. That's not good. 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. If you do not have gifted memberships enabled, I would highly recommend that you do that, because that's how you receive them. John, how many are in chat? Almost 948. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all so much. And Cities by Diana. Thank you so much for being here, Diana. Good to see you here. B. Swigglehausen. I do that. So we are going to do some work in the rail network as well. In fact, let's just get to it, because the first thing that we're going to do is take out our sledgehammer and get rid of a bunch of stuff. And this is going to be probably one of the more controversial things that I do for the time being. I think we're going to rethink this whole area, and I think we're going to make Biffa really sad and remove a bunch of roundabouts throughout the build generally. I've experimented a bit in the city, and I find that most of the roundabouts that I built are just over capacity, and that is leading to many of the problems that we're seeing in the build. So we're going to get rid of a number of those. We're going to try to gentle up some of these curves. We're going to try to separate some of the freight traffic and the passenger rail traffic. And I actually didn't make a passenger connection that I think we could make. So I think we'll do that as well. SR Crane, thank you for becoming an associate planner. Appreciate that. All right. So we got rid of that. We will create another interchange here, but I think we've got to stretch this out, maybe wrap it around, and rethink this roadway network up here as well. And we need to completely rethink this. And if we look at our contour view, we can see that there's some challenges here. Got some things to worry about. So I'm going to just start over, get rid of most of this, and we will rethink these movements. I think we can come up with something really, really smooth and really, really efficient here if we don't overcomplicate things and get these interchanges too close to one another. Holy cow, I'm missing a whole bunch of super chats. Pre-Benlam, thank you so much for the super chat. Lots of great ones. Toady, for example, found a trick to dedicate direction of zoning. Yes, I will have to watch. That is, I will definitely check that out. Toady is awesome. So definitely check out Toady's video. Mark, thank you so much for being an associate planner for 9 months. Why didn't they include contours? Not sure. Maybe they'll get added. That's my hope. But for whatever reason, they're not in there right now. Yeah, no, thank you for becoming an associate planner. Really appreciate that. Infrastructurist is in here. Thank you for being here. See lots of creators. I love that. Love that so much. All right. For the very beginning here, I think we'll just focus on some really simple movements. And while I have the network multi-tool, I'm going to use it. I hope that the network multi-tool comes to Cities Skylines too, because, you know, I'm going to use it because that's my thing. It's my thing. And I really want in this area some very simple movements through here, sweeping movements. In fact, we might even take this back further and try to get these nice and sweeping. Montez, thank you so much for being an associate planner. Really appreciate that. Doctor on board, thank you so much. And let's see, PC versus console. Do I know the differences? I haven't seen the console version, but from what I've been told, they should be in complete parity with one another. So hopefully that is the case. We'll have to see. I have requested that when console version is available to take a look at it. Even if I don't get that opportunity, I have Game Pass, so I will pick it up and give it a shot. I have a capture card, and I'll definitely give it a try. Mindwolf, thank you so much. Your videos are always lit at the end, the light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So many creators in here. Edward, thank you for being in here. You're late, but that's cool. I'm just happy you're here. And Vainglorious, thank you for being here. So many people in here. Love it. All right, we're gonna build this as our first movement. And so what I'm thinking is we want to prioritize the movement out of town, not the movement this way. So the highway is not meant to get people from one side of town to the other. It's to get people out of town. We will have this movement. It will be possible, but that's not the primary movement that we want to create. And then we'll make this quick connection, and then we're going to go crazy with our network multi-tool because I have to. Let's reverse this quickly. And for this other movement, it's the exact same thing. I want to prioritize this movement out of town. Let's see. You'd be tempted just to throw in a trumpet, a tunnel trumpet. So Matthew, that is a good suggestion. I spent actually a little bit of time playing around on this, and I tried some tunneling, it's kind of a mess in this location. Actually, what I should be doing here, not that, I should be using the parallel road tool, which is kind of an interesting topic. So in Cities Skylines 2, there is a parallel road tool type mod. I could see there still being a need for the modded version of the parallel road tool. So one of the things that I noticed that was really interesting about the tools that are introduced in Cities Skylines 2 is that some of them have some of the functionality of the mods partially implemented. So there are certain things within the parallel road tool for Cities Skylines 2 that aren't quite there. And I'll dive into that a little bit more in the next video. But basically, there are limits as to what you can do with things. So, and reversing the roads is a little bit more challenging and things of that nature. What if you downgrade the forestry highway to a national road? Wouldn't that be simpler? Perhaps. Overcharged Egg is in here. Holy cow. Thank you for being here. Let's see. John, you don't see an option to allow gifts. I think it might be actually in your main profile settings. Or let me see. Maybe there's instructions. If anyone knows how to do that, drop it down in the chat. Let's see. Did CS2 not work? Or after CS2 video? Yeah, so we're not actually able to stream Cities Skylines 2 right now, unfortunately. I'm hoping that at some point I'll be able to do so. My goal is that for the third video, rather than doing a video, we do a stream. Because I think that the one thing that I wasn't able to show, and the thing that I saw in the comments a million times, is folks want to see the rhythm of the game. And as nice as the video was to put together, and I think it demonstrates a lot, it doesn't really show you the rhythm of the game. And the rhythm is, I mean, the pacing of the game is really outstanding. So to not be able to show you that is kind of unfortunate. ADAC asks how the performance is. So this is something that I'm not really going to say much about right now. And the main reason I'm not going to say much about the performance is I don't really think it's fair to do so yet until the game is fully optimized. If you've ever worked in development of software, you'll know that in the last 6 weeks during the crunch time, things absolutely change a ton. And I fully expect that to be the case for Cities Skylines 2. I wouldn't necessarily expect to see a bunch of features being added, but at the end, you're seeing textures being optimized. You're seeing things like performance being improved, little bugs getting squashed. So I think the game is probably, from a feature set, likely close to where it is, but I would fully expect that the performance improves. So that is the thing that I don't really think it's fair to mention a ton about right now. So stay tuned, though. That's something that I've said that I'm going to talk about closer to release. My goal is to create the most comprehensive guide letting you know if your computer will be able to run Cities Skylines 2. So that is something that I'm going to be putting together. Let me think. I've got my computer, which is actually 2 computers. I've got one dedicated to streaming and recording, and then my main gaming computer. I've got the master plan music computer, which is actually an old server, but I have a couple of graphics cards I can put in there, some lower powered graphics cards, some older ones. I've also got my kids' gaming computer, the laptop that I originally started the channel with, my wife's laptop, and then I have an eGPU enclosure, a Thunderbolt enclosure. So we will be testing all of them, giving it a shot. So yes, definitely will be testing things out, but it's not the right time just yet. Let's see. Recently watched some of your older videos and noticed sometimes seems a little more rushed. No, so I think that's interesting, Andre. So the way that I create the videos now is completely different than I did initially. So initially, the Ultimate Beginner's Guide was super laid back. I basically would get home from work. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, and I would just put a video together. Now I am actually testing most of my builds. This is something I've shared on Patreon, and I probably should share it with YouTube members as well. Even this build that I have right now, I've got an image of what I want to do. So I do a lot of pre-planning up front now that I didn't do in the past. So it definitely changes the way the videos are structured. I also formally structure basically everything. So I'm coming up with different sections of the video and kind of writing things down. So it's a different, I'd say it's my evolution as a video creator. To me, it makes a bit more sense to do it this way. Hank, so thank you so much for being a member for 5 months. It is, you're in Madison too, so you're experiencing the rain. Yes, rain and chilly, and I'm here for it. I'm so tired of the hot weather. Although Banjo's very sad. Banjo likes to sit outside all day, and he's just been staring at me, trying to look outside. And truthfully, I was going to try to have a Banjo cam, but I realized that my cam setup is connected to a secondary monitor. Lots of complication in doing that, but at some point I might do that. Udaban, thank you for becoming an associate planner. I really appreciate that. Seeing how much, seeing how much data the game is showing on the city, do you think all the data could be exported so we could chart them to see a bigger picture? I do not know what you mean, Yumada. You should let me know. Charles, my name is Phil, indeed, yes. Shockwave, have I ever considered making videos with commentary and just some background music? Not really. I just honestly, I don't think that they would do quite as well. I put out a couple of videos that were similar to that back in the day, and it seemed like people enjoy the commentary. So I'll probably always do that, but my game plan, and maybe this is a stream exclusive, I plan on taking train tours, car tours, walking tours in each of the cities and putting them on the master plan music channel. So it'll, whoa, death wave. Everyone is dying. We really better solve this traffic. But yeah, I plan on putting all those on the master plan music channel. With that background music, you'll be able to watch those tours. And I think that might be the best balance, at least from my perspective. Do my local city planning peers know about my YouTube channel? They do. They didn't for a long time, but had some interesting situations happen. And at a certain point, you kind of just, my two lives, my life as a YouTuber and my life as a planner kind of collided. And I had to let everyone know. So yeah, there's a number of them that know. Yeah, city is dying. Surprisingly, the population hasn't really gone down just yet. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, why we're doing okay, but it seems like things aren't dead just yet. All right, so we've got to think about the movements that we have through here. And one of the movements that we're going to need is this one. So I want a sweeping movement, something like this. And we'll just pull that up here. And I'm not going to worry about the heights or any of that stuff just yet. And you might wonder why I'm using this part of the network multi-tool, and it's just really control. I have the ability to create the exact movements that I want. Will there be a 24-hour live stream build on official release day? I don't know if my wife will allow that, but I'm definitely going to do 2 hours or 12 hours. I want to have a massive stream, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Stride, thank you so much for the, or Strick in propane. Thank you, Strickland propane. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hello CPP, fellow Wisconsinite. Met you once in a professional setting and did not realize until finding you later on. Such a nice guy. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's not hard to find me. So at some point, you know, I very well might just make it official. I've been setting up for that. So very nice to see you in here, and I appreciate the support. You sent spaghetti oncoming. We're gonna have spaghetti on the next one. This one we're gonna try to keep as calm as possible. So we'll see. 2K plays. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for the years of entertainment. Our whole house appreciates it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the super chat. And it's amazing that you have your whole house watching the content. I think my house has only watched one video. My brother-in-law actually put one on a family vacation, and we all awkwardly watch the ultimate beginner's guide to Cities Skylines together. Well, thankfully, we all had a beer in us, so it wasn't quite as painful as it could have been. But it's definitely, I watch my own videos to learn from them. But it's a different experience watching them with somebody, and something that I am not at all familiar with. So it's definitely very strange. Gaming Ages asks, why don't I ever use the add curves? So I do use it, but in this particular instance, I wanted to really define where my curves were going to be taking place. So I decided to use the multi-curve instead. It's just I think that I probably could get away with it. I like the control. Let's see. Yes, this is a modded build. A whole bunch of tools enabled on this one. This, honestly though, this mod list is an absolute disaster. When I started Bluffside Crossing, I just started adding stuff randomly, all sorts of not good stuff in here. So I know I've been asked if I would ever release this mod list or update it. There's no chance because you guys could do better yourself. And this is not a good one. Same thing with Clearwater County. At this point, it's kind of messy. And to fix it would take quite a bit. I would much rather keep a list. I've been thinking a lot about how I will handle Cities Skylines 2, and I'm going to take a lot of the lessons I learned from Cities Skylines 1 and earlier content creation and fix them up for the next one. John LA, you would hate seeing yourself on camera. I would too. Yeah, that's the main reason at this point why I haven't done it is that it's interesting. I mean, in my professional capacity as a planner, I've been on camera so many times. At one point last year, I was on every TV station in the state. So no matter where you were in Wisconsin, you could find me. And I just despised it. My father-in-law said he saw me at one point. Not my thing. And that's the main reason why I'm not doing it now. But I'm working past my stage fright, and at some point I very well might do it. That's brings up an interesting point. I may also give Twitch a try at some point. And the main reason I'm considering that is I want to play some other games, and City Planner Plays is very clearly a channel about City Skylines. So I don't think it would make a ton of sense to attempt to have that content on this channel, but on Twitch I might mix it up and try a couple of things. We'll have to see. I'm still on the fence about that. Earlier, I said I was going to make Biffa sad by removing roundabouts. I'm going to make him happy by having proper lane mathematics right here. He's 23. Thank you so much for the super chat. I can't wait for the new game as an in real life first responder. I can't wait to see the reworked systems. Can't wait to watch you while building my own city. Keep up the great work, bud. Thank you so much. And thank you for the work you do. That is some challenging work. I have a buddy actually who he was one of my roommates in college. He ended up becoming a first responder, and we'll sit down every now and then and talk about what that job actually entails, and just the amount, the cojones you have to have a job like that. That's a tough one. Let's see. Gage, Civ. Yes, I want to do Civ. I want to do Tropico. I want to do mini motorways. I want to do some random variety stuff that I just don't think works on this channel. And the last thing I want to do is, screw things up here. I could be a Twitch VTuber. Gotta come up with my avatar. No, I've got a whole setup now for Facecam. I've got a Facecam Pro and, a key light. And so it's all set up. It's just a matter of actually getting the courage to do it. Robin Weber, thank you so much. 12 months of being an associate planner. Happy planiversary, Phil. Thank you so much. Also, go Pack Go. Yes, I am really excited to see Jordan Love. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good. I think that people are going to be surprised. Sandy, 19 months. Thank you so much. You finally bought the game. That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Brandon Sawyer, no, don't be on camera. Love faceless video. So I wouldn't do it for videos, but I think for streams it can be helpful and help you get a feel for the person. There are so many that already do it. So it's The other advantage of it is there are events and things of that nature that I would like to participate in, but most of them you have to show who you are. So that's a thing. And then the other thing is people do see me, and I want to have that warm and fuzzy feeling if I get recognized, not the uncomfortable feeling like, how'd you find me? Victuzi, the Cities Skylines 2 have a realistic number of households per building. Also, what about the number of workplaces for industrial, commercial, and office? That's a tough one. So I'd say that the numbers are better, but they're not realistic. It's still an agent-based game, so you're still going to see things that are unusual. Maybe that's the best way of putting it. That said, the high-density buildings have a ton more workers, ton more citizens, and just feel a ton better. They also will create traffic. So it's one of those things where I think it's a game, so it's going to be an approximation. I'm sure that someone will put together a realistic population, but it's a lot better. And I think for most people, they're going to be happy. And I'd be one of those people. I'd be happy. Gaming Ages, thank you so much for the super chat. What I was saying is that you can add curves when you use the multi-curve function. So, okay. Why don't we make B Squigglehausen happy and fix this rail and see. So I've always been under the impression that I can't change the curve with this. So if I go into create curve mode, that is, well, first of all, that's a highway. But the thing is, I can't adjust where that angle is happening. So when I add this in here, this is the angle. So is there a way to fix that, or is it just hit enter and this is what it is? Because the reason why I like to use the create connection mode is now I have the ability to move this where I want it to be. So I can shift this around, increase the radius, and really get this to line up. And especially if you're trying to respect the topography, it is invaluable to be able to do this. So that is the primary reason why I do it. Let's see. He's 23. Thank you so much again for the super chat. It's a tough job, and I've seen a lot. I've used your videos actually as a coping method between the beats and how relaxing you are. Very easy to unwind and watch you do your thing. So thank you. Thank you. And I'm happy that I can help in any way. It's just a really, really heroic job, and I appreciate you. It's one of those jobs that you don't realize how important it is until you're in need. So definitely appreciate that. Elise, thank you for becoming an associate planner. Let's see. Gilbert says no bikes. That's kind of lame. You got to remember, a lot of things are going to be added. So as much as I would like for things to be absolutely perfect day one, I'm much more interested in the ability to do things being there day one. So there are many things that are just a part of Cities Skylines 2 that were not conceived of with Cities Skylines 1. And ultimately what that means is that we're going to have a game that is much more expandable over time. So, and I think my read on it is that's why some things are in the game and some are not in the game. Now, my concern about the contour tool, which still could be added, who knows, is that if it's not in the game, maybe it doesn't get added. So that's just like a base function. So we'll have to see. That's one that I'm going to be looking for, though. That means a lot to me. So one thing I will mention, I want to say that I still have power jumping on from Verde Beach, so we might not have to worry about that. So I'm popping this up. Edward, the road curve is now perfect. Yes. And the rail curve feels good too. But we've got other work to do with this. Cole Brunel, thank you so much for the super chat. Excited for Cities Skylines 2. Hope you're well and keep up the amazing work. I am doing absolutely spectacular. Life has been good, and I appreciate the good vibes there. Hope life's going well for you as well. Hope things are good. Yeah, for me lately, the kids just went back to school. So this has been an interesting week because, I have my kids at home last week, and I didn't realize that was going to be the case. We take the kids to a summer camp, and I probably should have paid more attention as to what was going on with the summer camp. and when it was ending. But it was a surprise to me on the Friday of the week before. They were like, "It's been a great summer camp. We'll see you next year." And I just kind of like, oh my goodness. Not something I was aware of. Cole, thank you so much for the gifted membership. That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I hope you enjoy that, Alexandra. Definitely check the members post that I make every month. I put up a Vimeo link that will allow you to get early access to videos. So definitely, I hope it's a good perk there. Saw my face on the DMI Transportation Committee video. Yep, that was me. I will confirm it. I don't have that big of a beard anymore, though. That was my pandemic beard. If the contour map is not available day one of release, can we commission someone to make a mod for it, Phil? Yes. Yeah, I will leave that out there. If that is not available day one and a modder wants to do it, I will commission it. I will pay for it. I'm totally cool with that. It's so necessary. We got to respect the topography. Contour lines are kind of make or break for me, honestly. Yeah. So real story, and this is not to sound ungrateful or in any way. The first time I played Cities Skylines 2, I installed it, absolutely stoked. I went in my first map, and then I couldn't respect the topography. And I played for about 20 minutes, and I turned it off and I walked away till the next day. Because that was just like, for me, that was just a huge bummer. So it's something that I will be looking forward to seeing if there's an improvement made there, because it's just, man, it's so important. So important. Mr. Gangster Boy, thank you for becoming an associate planner. Dan Smith, thank you for becoming an associate planner. And we all had the pandemic beard. Indeed. Mine got a little unwieldy. I looked a bit haggard. You thought I was handsome, John? Thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely, it wasn't my finest look. So I'll keep trying to, that's the other thing. I feel like before I do any face cam stuff, I need to go to a barber. I've been self-cutting my hair for years. So I turned 18. I moved out on my own as soon as I could. And I went to Walmart and I bought basically like a trimmer. And I think I paid $9 for it, $9.99. And I've still been rocking that exact same trimmer all these years later. And I just haven't paid. I think in my adult life, I've had one proper haircut, and it was from Sports Clips a while ago. That was about it. And since then, I look in the mirror, I buzz off as much as I can, then I grab a little handheld mirror and I do the rest. Brad Tricky, thank you for becoming an associate planner. I appreciate that. All right, for this, I think we're going to take the lanes down quite a bit here, but let's work on our heights. I think that we're starting to see the final form of this take place, but we do need to do quite a bit here in terms of getting our heights to be lower. So I'm going to drop this down, and then we'll slope from here. See if we can make this a little bit better. We're starting to get there. These trees, though, I don't know what I was thinking. It's like we've got to just throw as many trees as we can in a line. That'll make the interchange right there. Let's get rid of all of them. We can add trees back later. Guess I'm late to the party. Miles, Anthony, you're good. You're good. We're just beginning and we're having a good time. And the one thing you missed is everyone's dead, but the population's hovering. So apparently we're just fine. Mark, the devs are probably relying on the modding community. I don't know. I think my thought about that is there are certain features that they certainly have shied away from adding, and I'm not sure what the rationale for that is, but I'm sure that there is a reason. Certain things I was really hoping to see in the game aren't in there. The sorts of things that I was hoping to see were like the line tool. To me, that kind of just seemed like an easy one, an easy gimme. But it's not the end of the world. Wow, this is really not good. I think we've got an extra node there. Yeah. Gauge. Easttown Sports Club. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. So just one time at Sports Clips. If we're doing East Town though, I mean it's all about the theater for me. That's being able to get a beer and some food at the theater. I mean, can you beat that? So let's see. Otherwise, there's not really. I mean, otherwise, why does one go to the mall anymore? I don't really know. First stream you've ever caught, Nick Collins. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Traffic, Doctor on board says traffic cannot go straight through from the left to the right. Oh, yes, you're right. We've got to add that movement. And this is going to make this a multi-layered interchange. It's going to make things interesting. So let's add this here. I'm going to go backwards. We'll reverse this. Speaking of reversing, that was the other thing. And I'm not sure. I'm going to be very curious to watch the other creators' videos. I really struggled with reversing curved roads. In fact, I was planning on completing what will be the ring road around Moundsville, which is a terrible name. If you guys have a better one, let me know and I'll rename it the next one. The reason why I didn't do that, car tornado. The reason why I didn't do that is I was really struggling getting the roads to reverse. So I'm still learning, and I think that most of us that are playing the game right now are still learning. So yeah. 8 asks, what kind of beer do I like? Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna be back in 2 seconds, and I'll tell you what I have been drinking recently. All right, I have been drinking Lake Louie Sandy Cheeks. It is a pineapple Hefeweizen from Verona, Wisconsin, and it is amazing. So if you are in this area and you can get it, highly recommend it. Goes down smooth. That said, it is currently 20 minutes after noon for me, so I will not be drinking beer right now. So as much as nice as a beer sounds, just probably, I don't think my wife would appreciate that. Whoa, that is also something I do not appreciate. So why not do a Bell interchange here? I just think that we need to keep it simple. I think that this whole area, I had initially tried to get real complex and real fancy with it. And ultimately, half the time in Cities Skylines, at least what I've noticed, is the more complexity you add for the sake of adding complexity, the more you could potentially screw things up. Generally, you're only doing things like that if you have the need for the capacity. So I don't have the need for the capacity right here. You can see that this is working just fine. Why are they slowing down at that split? Probably node conflicts. We will fix that. 8, you love pineapple. This is a good beer then. Did I have my coffee today? Yes, I did. I am drinking some Tim Hortons. It's pretty basic, boring stuff, but I like Tim Hortons. Morton, thank you for becoming an associate planner. And I want to apologize if I missed any super chats. So I see Dan Smith also became an associate planner. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Morgan, thank you so much for becoming an associate planner as well. When am I going to get a VTuber model? that requires me actually being good at streaming. It's funny. I was actually talking with Toadie a little bit, and she was offering some advice for streaming, and I've got to get back to her. But it made me realize that I have had my OBS profile set up wrong for as long as I have had OBS. So I really am still learning a lot of things about streaming, making videos still. So I'm a work in progress. Matthew, Tim Hortons in Madison. There is no Tim Hortons in Madison. I don't know why this happened, but many years ago, I ended up getting some Tim Hortons coffee. I want to say on Amazon, and I've always really liked it. So I end up having Tim Hortons, just drip coffee. I think my wife doesn't like it, but she lets me get away with it there. So, am I planning on adding an extra lane to those on-ramps where they merge? So yeah, there's going to be a merge lane in between these two interchanges that we make. And I'll have to have an extra lane there if we want to keep our lane math making sense. We're starting to see the form of this, and I'm digging it. I'm hoping I can keep this segment ground level and I might need to have, I've got a number of bridges here. The big thing is going to be getting the heights right. I'm going to try to do as much as I can with the network multi-tool, and then I'll need to just eyeball some of this stuff. And we're starting to see that it's coming together, but it's still a bit of a challenge. And then we'll have to see. I'm not sure if we'll get to lane marking. Oh, there's an extra node, for instance. You see that slowdown, or is that just, maybe I can just, yeah, there's an extra node. Can't get rid of it. Won't let me. Let's see. Oh, I'm in the wrong tool. Set slope mode. There we go. And now that'll be done. Let's see. Is Phil reading non-member concerns or questions? Justin, I am. Obviously, the easiest way for me to see it is if it's highlighted for me. YouTube's chat tools are kind of notoriously difficult, at least in the creator end. So if I miss anything, I really apologize. Vainglorious did point out that I should have stream elements open to see all of the new members and super chats and things of that nature. So I am seeing those more. So thank you, Vainglorious, for pointing that out. That has been huge. MW, you have some Tim Hortons in Michigan. I didn't realize that they were so close. Truthfully, I don't get to Michigan as much as I should. My sister's husband is from Michigan, and they go all the time. And someday I'll have to see if I can take along. Reasonably, I've never been to the lower part of Michigan. The UP, that's kind of where I've lived. Not literally. Let's see. How do I at someone? Just you should just be able to at them if they're in here. For any of us, you should be able to find them. Vainglorious, yes. Thank you. So I've had trouble with auto-completing names too, and I'm not sure if it's people hopping in and out or whatnot, but hasn't been working. Phil, all the interchanges should be bridged because of the movement you prioritized. Huh. Maybe. I refuse. Yeah, maybe. Oh, gee. Thank you so much. 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. It's very generous of you. All right, so we're going to try to get this right. This is probably the spot I'm the most concerned about. Oops. So I'm going to square this up, try to get this underneath this bridge, then this one high enough, and then the top one. So when you have these complex stacks like this, you just really got to be willing to play around a bit. So let's slope from here. Alan, will vanilla CS City Skylines 2 be worth buying? I think so. In fact, the way I'll put it, if you have if you play City Skylines 2, it becomes really difficult to do certain things in City Skylines 1. In fact, there are things, so in the most recent Clearwater County video, as I was recording, there were things I had to hide that I was doing wrong. So, for instance, I was just drawing roads through other roads with Anarchy on, and I wasn't able to make, I wasn't able to compute that in my head that that's not possible. So, it's, once you play it, it's really outstanding. Obviously, it's not going to be as feature complete a game as Cities Skylines 1 at its current state, but I think that that's completely fine. Robin, thank you so much for the super chat. Totally worth $5. Americans don't know what they're missing out on with coffee from Italy, Portugal, and Brazil. Tim, who? A coffee here is 60 cents. What? That is ridiculous. That's also amazing. So I will not lie. When I went to Greece, I saw Nespresso and I kind of chuckled for a second, and then I had one and I loved it. So I had a variety of coffees while I was there, and I don't know that Greece is even known for their coffee, but I very much enjoyed it. So the only time I've spent in Italy was at, what is the name of that airport? Da Vinci? I think it was Da Vinci Airport. I spent hours there. But that was my only experience there. So I need to get there. And I'm pulling this way back, trying to sink this down a bit and make these slopes a little more reasonable. And we'll have to do some things to make this look a little bit better. Does Cities Skylines 2 work on Mac? Nothing's been announced for Mac, unfortunately, so that's definitely very disappointing. Hopefully we hear more about that in the future. That said, M1 or Apple Silicon Macs were announced just after Cities Skylines 2, so, I mean, it's not totally unreasonable that we're not hearing anything about that. KO, you make your own coffee at home for 25 cents. I do the same thing. I almost never go out for coffee. Jay Summers, thank you for becoming an associate planner. Really appreciate that. Rome's airport is by the sea. Is that Da Vinci? Or what? I think that's what it was. But I truthfully, I'm not sure. Portland is a super solid coffee food town. I can imagine. So we have good coffee where I am as well. I just personally, coffee's not something, even though I love coffee, it's just not something I spend much money on. So I probably should because I enjoy it so much, but I don't. And I'm just kind of going insane here doing this. So I might need to take a step back and try to regroup because I'm clearly messing this up pretty good. Class field trip to Portugal on Robin. I like that. I like the sound of that. Phil, you should definitely take a sip of Brazilian coffee. So how do you guys make your coffee in Brazil? Is it just drip or using a French press? Like I have a French press. I don't use it very often, but if I were to get some Brazilian coffee, I want to do it right. And of course, going to Brazil is probably doing it right, but that's probably not in the cards for me for a little while. The next place I'm going is Sedona in Arizona in February. And that is the first trip I've had in a while. So well, I take that back. I went to Florida. But this will be my first time on a flight in many years. So I'm very excited. My wife got that booked, and there's nothing better than having someone else figure out your travel accommodations. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Yes, you're right. I shouldn't. Milwaukee has a dozen fair trade roasters now. Yeah. My favorite coffee is probably, I like Collectivo a lot. I used to go to Collectivo all the time, more than I should have. It's probably the reason I stopped paying for coffee at coffee shops, because I realized how much money I was wasting coffee all the time. Is this my first time in Arizona? I've been to the Grand Canyon. Actually, when I moved back from Los Angeles, my wife and I went on a very long road trip, and we just kind of took it slow. And we weren't married at the time. We just started dating, and we spent quite a bit of time driving through, but never stopped for anything outside of the Grand Canyon. So, went to the Four Corners, things like that. Just kind of all the touristy stuff. So this will be different. I think she's getting a VRBO, and we're just kind of taking it all in. So it'll definitely be different. There was a time where, like most people that wanted to be in warm weather, I thought maybe Arizona's the place. But truthfully, after this summer and how hot it's been, I'm completely content living in a cold weather climate for the rest of my life. I'm not built for that hot weather. It's not me. That's why LA was so good. Craze, any openings for video editors? Not right now, unfortunately. Now's the best time to start so it's actually not a good time for me to start another channel. I feel like since I've started doing this, full time, it's been really, really tempting to go ham on things. And editing has been one of those things. scripting, and my whole process is really slowed down. And I need to, if there's anything I need to do, it's take a step back and kind of regroup and not overthink things. So that's going to be my focus over the next little while, is not overthinking things, not doing too much, not editing, not over editing. I watched a video recently where they talked about over editing of videos, and I think I've been guilty of that recently. It's 104 degrees here in southern Arizona. Yeah, that's brutal. Oh, that's it. It's probably dry heat. We hit 100 one time here in Madison this year. Maybe it was only 99, and that was just, it was humid. It was gross. I don't like it. It's not cool. It's the same thing in Florida when we were there. I get why people like the weather. It's not for me. And that's great. If it were for everybody, Florida would just have, 50 million people and it would be miserable. Did I say I'm now doing this full time? Yes, there were a number of reasons for that. I mentioned it in the last stream, but basically the long and the short is my two worlds collided a bit, and I started to wonder if I was becoming a distraction more than anything else. So at the job I was working at, we had a night meeting, and it was the most successful night meeting ever. There were thousands of people on Zoom. We actually exhausted the license, and I began to wonder if that was partially my fault. So, yeah, it seemed like it was probably not best for my job for me to be doing that. So that was something that I definitely, it was a difficult decision to make. But yeah, I mentioned that in the last stream that is the choice that I made. Also, it started to collide. One thing that happened that I wasn't super excited about was my name. When I was named YouTube Black Creator of the Year, was my name ended up getting out there. So as things came together, that's why I ended up making the decision that this is something that I'm going to do for now. And then afterwards, this might be the push that I actually need to go back to school. I was initially out of grad school. I had the head of my program reach out to me and say, do you want to get into the doctorate program, become a professor? And I considered it for a minute, but I really wanted to have practical planning experience before doing that. To me, the professors that I loved the most all had practical planning experience, and I just didn't want it to be all theoretical. So yeah, that was a thing. Gen Z, thank you so much for the super chat. What if we disrespect the terrain? We don't put the water pipes underneath the roads right where they belong. Then I'm coming for you. If you're in Green Bay, you're just a couple hours away. Don't make me come there. Thanks again for the super chat. I appreciate that. 1 hour, still not done with the interchange. That's true. I knew that this was going to be bad. So I practiced this, and I think I got it done in 15 minutes. But that's not what we do on stream. Is Phil a doctor? I'm not a doctor. I have a master's degree in urban planning, but not a doctorate. I do want to become Dr. Phil though someday. I mean, even if it's just for the bragging rights of being able to say that I am the true Dr. Phil, that would mean something to me. So we'll definitely do it. If you do go to the UW, there is a chance that you've seen me, because I have given lectures there on a couple of different occasions about planning. So there was a couple of classes, engineering class and a planning course that I've been to, probably in the last year. So you might have seen me. No one recognized my voice though, so maybe not. Yeah, then you get an F in Professor Phil's City Planner Place class. Yes. Well, congratulations. It's great news. The fact you caused engagement in any real city planning. Yeah. So that was one of the things I thought about Tillycat is, I realized I had to pick one. It was either the channel or my job at the time. And even at that, like it would still be very strange. People recognizing me for the channel at, meetings and whatnot. So, I think I can have a bigger impact on the planning field right now doing this. Getting people interested in planning is definitely something that I think is really important. Getting people interested in their local government is something that's definitely important. And for me personally, at some point, I would really love to be involved locally in commissions and things of that nature. I've had the opportunity to do so, and I decided for the time being to not, but I definitely am going to do that in the future. And you don't have the ability to be a decision maker as a planner, which is fine. But if that's something, if you're thinking about getting into urban planning, I think it's something you should be aware of, that you are guiding the process, you're providing expert opinions and advice, but you never get to be the final person to say, this should go here. And that is something that I think in this capacity, I'd have the freedom to do now. And that's something I'd really want to do. So Kyle Pointer says, the UW has only ever meant University of Washington. It's funny. We worked with a planner from Portland on a plan, and he kept saying UW, and to refer to, or was that, maybe it's UW, to refer to the UW, and it was just really confusing for everybody. Like, what is UW? I think that's is that what the University of Washington is referred to? I think it is. Francesca says, so it's my husband's birthday. He's awake and watching this with me. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Hopefully you're having a good day and chilling out. John asks if I've ever watched Parks and Rec. Yes. Actually, normally, I have 3 coffee mugs that I alternate in between. I have a Clearwater County coffee mug, and it is, without a doubt, my favorite coffee mug. I'm not saying that just because it's my merch. I actually genuinely like it. And the reason the coffee mugs are so big is I just love big coffee mugs. The second is this random Starbucks Christmas coffee mug. It's the one I'm using right now. It had a metallic outside paint coat, and I microwaved it a few times and watched sparks fly. Terrible. That, like, never put metallic coating on your cup. I mean, it's a coffee cup. What do you do in Starbucks? And then the third one is my Parks and Rec cup. And I like it. And my wife was kind of appalled because I think it was supposed to be strictly used as like a pen holder. And I took it immediately, put some coffee in there. It was like, this is what we're doing. And, so that is one of my favorite coffee cups. And oftentimes I get questions about it in meetings. So I'm going to try to flatten this out, and then we're going to basically come through and knock that down. I think it looks a ton better. We're going to get rid of that retaining wall there eventually. And truthfully, I think that we're making some, I mean, it's slow progress, but I think it's good progress. Tillycat, thank you so much. That's a very generous super chat. This is for you, from Credo Card to Planner to YouTube. Yes, thank you so much. From one ex-fruit man to another, congrats. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Cole, thank you for becoming an associate planner. Really appreciate that. No webcam. I want the face to be a mystery forever. It's no longer a mystery. It's not. It's out there. So it's a mystery for you. But for anyone who really cares or is interested, it's been out there for a minute. So that's the thing. I really would like, if I see you guys in public, I just want it not to be awkward. Right now it's awkward because it's like, we know how this happened. It's okay. I get it. I'm curious too. I like to know what the people look like that I listen to a bunch. And I don't know how many videos are on the channel now, but a ton of them. And to watch that many videos and have no idea, I get it. Curiosity gets the best of you sometimes. So I just want it to not be uncomfortable for me. So it'll happen at some point. I'm not exactly sure when. In Discord, we always mentioned 1 million subscribers. If I ever get there, it'll probably be before that. But I don't really know. Phil taking his Parks and Rec coffee cup to a meeting. It's funny. Why am I not using a webcam? I'd really like to see. Yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. At some point, I'd never used the webcam. I've got it all here. So yeah, John knows how to find me. It's pretty easy. And I don't really care. The main reason I cared before was simply, I didn't want the conflict between my job and YouTube, and it's fine. At this point, it's done. So, Josh Mickelson, thank you so much for the super chat. Nobody on YouTube does what I do. Thank you. I try to keep it. So that's one of the things that I've pretty actively thought about, and I try to do. What makes my channel different than others? Why would you watch my content versus someone else's? And I want to always try to maintain something unique about it. So that'll be something that I always focus on. So thank you for noticing. Appreciate that. Jacob, you'd love to see what graphics settings I have here. Yeah, let me lower this down to the ground, and then I'm happy to share that. That's easy, and that's something that is great to do on a chat. Reasonably, it's nothing all that special here. The big thing that I have that I like to do to make videos look a little bit better is dynamic resolution. So that's something that if you want your game to just look better and you have a graphics card that can support it, I would highly recommend adding that. This is a mess. So I've got to keep it far enough away that I don't have problems with this. Although I think we might just end up, I didn't want to bridge this. There's just a lot of bridging, and it's just not all that realistic to have all of that bridging. Unless, of course, you have to, which I think is where I'm at right now. This absolutely has to be a bridge. Spencer, you binged the whole channel in a month? Holy cow. Yeah, there's a ton of videos in the channel. It's kind of, I looked at one point and was like, wow, over 400 videos. Where did the time go? Now, granted, in the beginning, the videos were shorter than they are now, but still, that's a heck of a lot of videos. And for anyone who's watched a significant number of those, I appreciate you. It's wild to me when I see the amount of hours that people spend watching the channel in a day, in a month. It's kind of unreal. I would have never imagined in a million years that I would do something like this and that people would watch it. And I appreciate you guys. Francesca says, look at the roads in Nashville. I did. I was in Nashville not too long ago. Very, very nice town. I stayed at a loft on it was above a whiskey, or like it was like a whiskey bar, old fashioned place on John Lewis. And I saw some really interesting things there. I went to this breakfast and it was like a club. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever been to in my life. So it was like a nightclub. Couldn't hear my buddies. We basically just looked at each other, shook our heads, and waited to leave to talk. Cole, thank you so much for the super chat. I love your channel. Your content is interesting and thoughtful, and I always look forward to your new videos. Best advice for someone interested in becoming an urban planner. The best advice I could give you is to go to your local planning office. Well, two things. Most of the meetings are now online, so I would recommend checking out a planning commission meeting or a city council meeting and getting a feel for the types of issues that planners deal with on a day-to-day basis. And then the second thing I would recommend is reaching out to your local planning office and seeing if they have internships or they'll let you shadow. Oftentimes that is a possibility, and planners are friendly people. At least I think so. So I would recommend just asking if it's something that they're willing to let you do, because that is how I solidified my interest in planning, by actually talking to some planners. I mean, that's the very best way to figure out if it's something you want to do, because it is a commitment becoming a planner. I mean, you're going to look at likely pursuing a master's degree to become a planner. Just full stop. That's kind of an expectation at this point. All of that said, I think initially I will admit to feeling like, oh, a master's degree, I can't do that. I'm not smart enough for a master's degree. That's not something anyone in my family's done. No one in my family went to college. no, at the associate college or got an associate degree, but no one went to the 4-year university. So it was always a very intimidating thing for me. I come from a family that's pretty blue collar in terms of its roots. So the idea that I had no one to talk to about it and getting through my undergrad felt like a really exceptional accomplishment. And it was kind of what I thought was the peak of my abilities. But the thing you don't realize about an advanced degree is you're going to classes that you love. Every day you wake up, you're learning about things and only things that you care about. And there's something really special about that. And it makes every day that you go there exceptional. So I would, just totally recommend it. But understand going into it, that's what you got to do. So before you make that kind of a commitment, talk to planners, get involved in your local city planning, watch some meetings, and see if it's something that you're actually interested in. Matthew says that I'm a bit relieved that professional designations in Canada are becoming less reliant on a master's degree. The idea of 2 more years of school, I could not agree with you more. I had this funny situation where at one of my jobs, my boss went to the exact same school I went to for undergrad, got the exact same degree, and was my boss and didn't have a master's degree and graduated just a few years before I did. And then for me, I had to go get a master's degree to even get in the door to a job. So I found it to be incredibly frustrating that was the reality. But unfortunately, it's kind of, at least the market, and maybe this is something that other millennials who are in the chat can sympathize or empathize with. I entered the job market at basically the worst time in like the last 50 years. And, part of what we were expected to do is keep getting degrees to differentiate yourself from the pack. And that, I think that it really stinks, because it's not that I didn't learn a lot in my master's program. I felt like I was really lucky because I had a planning undergrad background. So I was able to really specialize and tailor my skill set. I actually took some civil engineering coursework because I didn't need to take some of the planning courses, but it's not like I learned some crazy amount of skills in grad school that made me a better candidate for an entry-level planning job. I just don't. I mean, I honed in on my skills. I got a lot better at GIS. I got a lot better at the creative suite. And the funny thing is, those are skills that actually translated into becoming a YouTuber, which is kind of a weird realization. So yeah, master plan intersections. No, this is a guy playing with one intersection for an hour and a half. A degree is mostly a participation paper. I mean, I wouldn't say that necessarily. I'm still very proud of my degree that I got and whatnot. I mean, it was a great experience. I met a lot of friends. I did learn a lot, but at the same time, I don't necessarily. There are a lot of people I went to school with that never ended up in the field. And then there are people I went to undergrad with that just got really lucky and found a community or a consultant that was willing to accept them with just an undergrad degree. And they ended up in the same room as me. I went to people who, I worked with people who went to Ivy League colleges, and I went to a state school, and we had the same job and made the same amount of money. So at a certain point, your experience matters as much or more than anything else. So I don't know. Dwan Stevens, thank you so much for being an associate planner for a month. On Point Phil, 2007 grad in grad school for education now. That is awesome. That is awesome. Did I take work positions while studying? Yeah, I was insane. I made so I knew after my experience of not being able to get an internship out of undergrad that my number one priority was getting an internship. So I got in my car, drove out to Denver with my wife. We stayed at the Best Western on Colfax. We had no plans. We didn't have an apartment or anything. And I just started basically begging people for an apartment. And as soon as we had an apartment, and it was this place, it was brutal. we had a ant infestation. It was a pretty challenging environment. But I immediately found an internship. So I ended up working at a transit agency, and I actually ended up making the transit map that was in all RTD vehicles for a time. So it was pretty cool. And then after that, I ended up becoming a consultant. So my last 6 or 9 months in grad school, I was working full time as a consultant. And I was also working on my capstone program. So it was the capstone of my program, which is just, don't do that to yourself. It's this terrible. It's not, don't do that. Lightning Black, thank you for becoming an associate planner. Or it looks like you've already been an associate planner for a while. So thank you so much for becoming an associate planner again. Miles Anthony, thank you for the super chat. Is someone currently taking a course in GIS? Creating and working with maps is really neat, but there's a lot of steps to take in. I agree. And for GIS, we're at this interesting crossroads where are you learning, Miles, are you learning Arc Pro, or are you still working on Arc Map? Very curious about that. Mohammed, thank you so much. Member for 28 months. That is amazing. Grad school, comm engineering graduate. That's awesome. So I think you graduated just before I did. I actually had a pretty big gap in my studies. And when I moved to LA, I realized I'm screwing up in undergrad. It's time for me to take some time off and figure out what I want to do. Doctorate in 2024. That is amazing. Are you working on your thesis right now? Thank you for the super chat. That's totally unnecessary, but I really appreciate that. Gee, hey, do you make any videos playing Civ? I have not made any videos playing Civ. So I think that's what I would do on Twitch. So that said, I do have a Twitch made. And if you watch Twitch, subscribe. At some point, I might just go live accidentally, like I did a little bit ago. Not that kind of doctor. I love your name, by the way. That's awesome. I'm a uni professor, and favorite subjects are those with clear transferable skills. I agree, 100%. My favorite course that I had in all of grad school was actually planning law. And that is the type of class that I think you can really gain a lot from, and you can use those skills. My GIS courses, I learned a ton in there. I learned a ton in, what else? Maybe the capstones are probably my best courses. I mean, you learn a little bit of everything in that. G, thank you so much for being an associate planner. You just realized I'm OG. Yes, you are OG. So you and Mohammed are the reasons I need to add more labels. And right now red, I think, might be the highest tier. I've got to add some more. I'm going to get on that. This weekend, I actually, for the first time in a while, I don't think I have anything planned. So I'll have to do that. I'll have to, that'll make that a goal. Civ Twitch stream. You're here for it, Vainglorious. Thank you. I will do that. Jakob, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for helping me pronounce it. I've used dynamic resolution. I was asking more about your in-game graphic options. Okay, let's do that right now. So basically, I'm going through render it, and I've render it, dynamic resolution. I have a theme that I've set up. And maybe I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. So it might just be best for me to take some screenshots of my settings. So I can either do an XML export or screen caps of my settings and put them on Discord. I don't know if you're in the Discord at all, but that might be the best way to do it. I don't use post-process FX. I do use render it, like I mentioned. I could definitely export my settings there. I use render it in all my builds, and I also use theme mixer. And interestingly, in this particular build, I had the original theme mixer, not theme mixer 2. I went into Verde Beach, and theme mixer 2.5 was gone. It's like, whoa, surprising. But yeah, I use theme mixer in here. I only have a couple of mixes. This is the City Tips mix. It's basically vanilla. And then as far as the LUT that I'm using in here, I use Relight Natural. So, and I have Relight, obviously. So that is that is what I'm using in here. That's about it. So yeah, that's about it. Twitch follower numbers go through the roof. Let me see. Let me grab my page, and I'll drop that in the chat so you guys can subscribe to me. And of course, I don't even know what the channel name, like what. Okay, this is really creative. Here it is. Oh, Kevin Rollins. I don't know why I had that in copy. That is. So we'll get rid of that. Right there. That's what we actually have. So if you want to add me there, I have 190 followers. One of the reasons I also want to try being over there is basically to have smaller, intimate streams, so I can learn how to do this, because I really stink at it. Jakob, I'm in Discord uploading the XML screenshots of there. Okay. I will make a point of this weekend. There's a couple of things that I need to do. I want to create a master plan music playlist of all the music. I need to spend a bit of time. I'm struggling to get the music protected, which is why I haven't released it. I'm going to work on that a bit this weekend. And then I'll also get this up there as well. Let's get Tilly Cat says, let's get me to 1,000. Either way. Is my Twitch channel in the Discord? No. In fact, I don't have any alerts set up or anything. So that's something I'll need to do. So the goal is for, wait, who is that name? I have no idea. I think I must have copied something inside of here and just like pasted it. Let's see how many, I had 190 and now it's, holy cow, 60 more. So yeah, I will get notifications set up for Discord. So the first time I do go live on there, but just know that if I'm on there, I'm probably not doing Skyline stuff. So yeah, I think Kevin Rawlings is going to become my secret identity. sounds legit to me. Parking lot by the stadium looks unnecessary. Yeah, this one looks ridiculous. Truthfully, we have all that structured parking. So I think the thought here was that this was basically overflow, but reasonably, it was never necessary. So yeah, maybe eventually we'll do this. Why don't you guys tell me more about Kevin Rollins? Maybe Kevin is a new character that we need to create. Not sure if it was mentioned. So I actually have a couple of Cities Skylines 2 songs that I played in the video in this list today, and they're outstanding. Just like the music. So there are 2 channels. There's one that's kind of an orchestral, like just like ambient music station, and then one that's more of a beats lo-fi style station. I like the lo-fi one. I will admit that there's probably not as many songs on it as I'd like to see, but so if you play for a long session, like I'm guessing you will hear the same songs over again. I gotta just some of the ads are hilarious though. Some of the breaks that you get in the basically the interruptions to discuss things that are happening in your city, absolutely awesome. So yeah. Kevin Rollins is an American businessman and philanthropist and former president and CEO of Dell. I don't, is that? maybe I was doing some Googling. I'm not sure. Who makes master plan music? I have a couple of producers that I work with, but there's one primary one that I'm working with right now. And he's actually a fan of the channel. And I'll have to ask. I'll ask them if they're okay with me sharing their info. I did ask at one point if they wanted to be attributed, and they said no. So yeah. Kevin Rollins, singer of White Flag. Let's see. Chloe Bells, you had an appointment. Thank you. And was listening through Bluetooth in the car. Thank you for the gifted membership. Oh, that's awesome. Hopefully your appointment went well. Have I ever been to India? I have not. I have the affliction that many Americans have had, or do have, and that is a lack of experience with other countries. Um, I've only been to Mexico, Greece, and if you count like airports and stuff, Italy. So not very many places. I do want to get out there a lot more. But that's the thing. I think that in the US, if you live here, you've probably spent a lot of time visiting places here. I mean, there's just so many different places to visit here that it's easier to travel domestically, for better or for worse. I haven't even been to Canada. And that's honestly the next country I want to go to. My wife and I have actually been talking about a trip to visit Victoria. That's There's some botanical gardens in Victoria that she has been very interested in seeing, and I think that that's probably the next place that we go. Let's see, Alan, you play quite a bit of City Skylines, but never listen to the radio. Usually play a podcast or some YouTube videos. I fully support that. Selfishly. Um, that said, there are a couple of absolute bangers in the soundtrack. So I think if you want to listen to the soundtrack in City Skylines 2 is worth it. It's a very good soundtrack. Chronic Demise. Thank you for the super chat. Uh, Kevin Rollins, CIA investigating Chuckles the Clown and his apparently legitimate businesses. The next episode of Nicolay Bay, we are going to return to our friend Chuckles and talk a little bit about what's happening over on the Michigan side of the county, and I'm really or of the map, and it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure how people are gonna feel about where the story goes. We'll have to see. Chloe, University of Saskatchewan is one of the Canadian schools where you can become a certified professional planner. That with just a bachelor's, that is amazing. So there are very few schools that offer that just in North America generally, and I think that it should be more of a thing. They were trying to do it at my undergrad, but there's a whole certification process, and just reasonably, um, it doesn't make sense for most schools to take part in it if they know that most people are going to get their master's degree. So that was kind of one of the problems. Hopefully that gets improved. Uh, Maxim, you've lived in Victoria for 4 years. The gardens are really great. Okay. Warren, you live so close to Canada. I guess it's like someone living in the UK not having been to Ireland like me. Yeah, well, so it's relatively close, but I mean, we have the Great Lakes right there that really make everything a long ways away. If I were in Michigan, I think it would be a much, let's say you're in Detroit, like you're right across the bridge from Windsor. So obviously you're going to go. But for me, I either have to go around Lake Michigan, or if I still lived up north, I could go through the UP, which is very, I mean, you're not looking at, highways up there. You're looking at some rugged terrain. Um, and then I could cross through Sault Ste. Marie or something like that. But it's not exactly close. So it looks close on a map, but it's a long ways. I mean, even driving through my state, top to bottom, you're looking at, a 4.5 hour drive. So everything's a long ways away. Isabella, what are the specs of my computer? If you look in the description of a video, I have my whole kit outlined there. So I would check that out. I have links to everything. So yeah. John, you wish that Europeans understood the difficulties of most of us traveling abroad. It's highly expensive. Yeah. So I mean, I think that is one of the things that is unique. I mean, the U.S. is just so big. It's like, oh, that's really high. It's a continent. I mean, and that it's a significant portion of a continent. I mean, the U.S. and Canada are just massive countries in and of themselves. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why I think we don't travel as much as we should. Brandon Sawyer, thank you so much for the super chat. Kevin Rollins, ex-mob boss turned children's book author. In City Skylines too, every criminal does become completely rehabilitated. So the ex mob boss could become a children's book author, local bake shop owner. Will is here. Will, it's great to see you. I saw your message and I didn't reply. I am notoriously bad about that. If anyone who has me on Discord and has added me as a friend, messages me and I don't respond, do know it's not because I don't care. It's just because I have it on my phone and often will click there and then I won't get the notification. So, am I a mountain person or a beach person? Both. When I lived in LA, it was both. So I will say both. Reasonably though, in Wisconsin, I would say I'm obviously a beach person. We have so much water. What else do you do in Wisconsin besides, hop in a pontoon boat and, do those sorts of things? So I am extending this across. This is way lower than I thought it was going to be, which is really unfortunate because that's going to make this next bit that much more challenging. But basically, I want to create a bit of spaghetti to get up here. And what I'm thinking is we're going to run a ramp right here all the way down the side and meet up right about here. And we'll have this be bi-directional. We'll do the exact same thing on the other side. This will likely need to be bridged. We'll probably need to take the highway and pull it a bit closer over here and carve into the hillside a bit to make this work so we can get this ramp over here. But it's going to be a challenge. Will, you're used to me not responding. That's terrible though. Like that makes me feel horrible. That should not be a thing, but it's certainly been something that has become more and more of a thing. Warren asks if we have any glaciers in Wisconsin. We don't. However, the topography around me has been completely shaped by the glaciers. So we actually have something called the Glacial Drumlin Trail near me, and it follows the path of the glaciers, basically. So that is, or it follows some of it goes through the Kettle Moraine and through lands that were shaped by glaciers, and it's absolutely wonderful. In fact, it's one of the reasons that people will sometimes come and visit the state is to look at those parts of the those parts of the state. We also have a pretty thriving bicycle tourism industry, and when I was in Colorado, one of the things I was surprised to hear is that people were coming to southern Wisconsin simply to go biking through lands that were shaped by glaciers. Will, you made it. You made it. How long was the drive? Long? Philip Denny, in Wisconsin, they give you cheese curds instead of burger with your burger instead of fries. Yes, and cheese curds are just such a part of the culture here. I went to the farmer's market the other day, and what do you think I got? The very first thing we got, cheese curds. You just have to. That's what we do here. I'm gonna basically slope this all the way back to here. Oh, and destroy the whole world. That was not my goal. Let's see if I can improve this. Might need to do some of this manually. Dwan Stevens, thank you so much for the super chat. Easy to forget that the whole US is huge, much more of a continent than a single country. Covered a ton of miles in my life here. Yeah, it's, and I think the other thing about it is it's so different. You go to one state and you might think you know the US, but it's not a monolith. The architecture changes, the people change, the accents that people have. It's a different place. So, I mentioned going to Nashville recently, and there was culture shock being there. There were things that were totally unusual to me. And because of that, that's one of the things that I really like about living here. It's also one of the things that I think causes a lot of Americans to go, all right, I'm just going to travel around here because I don't need a passport. Domestic flights are easy. And I can experience different languages in some cases, different people, different architecture, different food, different everything, and just drive in any direction, 10 hours, and you'll find a totally different place. So it was kind of interesting actually driving down to Nashville and kind of hearing people's accents change every stop. Poplar Ponderosa, thank you so much. Put this on your trip to Canada fun. Thank you so much. Please don't skip Vancouver if you come to the West Coast. I'm sure you'll find the transportation infrastructure and planning interesting. I don't think I could skip Vancouver. And I'm really deeply regretful that in all my trips to Seattle, I never crossed the border. I'm gonna go hard at being an American for a second and say that I didn't have a passport before 2019. And because of that, I didn't leave the country. So very embarrassing in hindsight, but it's something that is pretty common here. I mean, lots of people don't have their passports, and I was one of them. Now I do, and I want to get out of here. 8, you're visiting Minnesota. And if you visited Minnesota a few weeks ago, and it was so weird to see scratch ticket machines, literally. So that's funny. Scratch ticket machines, we have those in Wisconsin too. I get culture shock going to Illinois and seeing what they call video gaming advertised at gas stations. And I think what it is slot machines at gas stations. And I just like, what? Just and that right there is the US experience. Just having totally different places right next door to one another. So I'm getting rid of this because I want to send this, which will be the ramp that connects to this highway, along the side here. And I need more space to accomplish this. So we're going to take this, spin it around, then pull it up here. I'm holding down Alt to keep the snapping right. And then I'm going to take this one as well, because if I have this here, I want this angle to be nicer because we have semis here. So we'll just, again, spin this around and pull this on up and over while holding down Alt. And same thing here. Easy as pie. Absolutely wonderful. Cross the border already. I'm gonna get to it. I promise. Oh, I don't want to get rid of that. I think I might need more space here. I can't really tell just yet. We'll have to see. So I am going to use the parallel road tool to make this. I'm going to just stick with this normal road. It doesn't really matter right now. What really matters is that the spacing is right. So just grabbing this. I think I'm going to tab it over. I want it to be far enough over that I don't see visual tearing, but not so close to this buildings, the buildings over here that we end up with issues. So let's see if 35 meters does the trick. And then I'll just link these up and we'll see what our slopes look like. This is real quick and dirty. 2.5. I love that. That is wonderful. Bobby, slots are at most bars in Portland. Really? Video poker everywhere? Really? I think that Wisconsin must be prudish. So there are some places where you see them, but it's not very many. So we have basically the only places where you can gamble here are, so we have scratch off tickets. Obviously that's like, like everywhere, but there are casinos. We have a casino, Native American owned casino. That's kind of the only places. There's only a couple that I can think of, outside of reservation lands. Michael says, I have the Porcupine Mountains nearby. That's true. They're beautiful too. They're just not the same as the Rockies, but they're absolutely beautiful. And if I want to fix, that's where I can go. In fact, I mean, that's where I learned how to ski, for instance, is up there. It's unfortunately car centric, but have you considered doing one of the Great Lakes Circle tours? I have. Yeah. Truthfully, I really, really, really want to get to Mackinac. That's where I really want to go. You feel like every bar in Wisconsin has slots? Yeah, I mean, so it's those and the casinos. That's kind of about it, but not at gas stations. Like, how bizarre is that? That said, I went to this restaurant in the Dells not that long ago, and they had slot machines. So maybe it's not as unusual as I like to believe it is. So I'm sliding this over here, and I think that we're gonna adjust this road quite a bit. Something like this. Maybe we'll even add another node to make this angle a bit nicer. And I'm trying to think about the vehicles that we have using this. It's going to be a lot of freight vehicles, so they're going to need nice angles. So yeah, something like that. And that allows us to have this road right here. Living on the border, we head to North Dakota for gambling at bars, blackjack, and slots all the time. And I'm guessing, so you're in Canada. I'm guessing all the 18-year-olds head to Canada. You guys can drink at 18, right? I think that, I mean, that's, so for me, I lived up north, and on my 18th birthday, you can't go to a casino in Wisconsin at 18, but you can in Michigan. So I went straight to Watersmeet, and I spent my 18th birthday there, which is kind of just like what kids from northern Wisconsin do. Hello from Slovenia. Hello. What time is it in Slovenia? We've got the video slots all over the place in Metro Atlanta. Interesting. What are my thoughts on SimCity? I mean, it's fine. SimCity, I mean, SimCity, I've actually thought about reinstalling. There's 2 games. I'll give you 2 video ideas that I've been thinking about. I recently, and I've mentioned this before, I found my City Life CD-ROM, and I wanted to make a video on it, and I found a DVD player, a USB DVD player, and I was gonna boot it up and give it a shot, and I didn't have the code, so I couldn't use it, which is just like, I had it on a spindle. So I ended up repurchasing Cities XXL, and I haven't played that in many years. And I thought about actually putting together a video about that experience that I had with that game and how it holds up, because Cities XXL actually came out 1 month before Cities Skylines, which is just kind of wild to think about. And around that same time, we're looking a couple years before that, SimCity 2013. And I think that if you go back and play some of these, certain parts of the games hold up really well, and a whole bunch of it stinks. So that's kind of what I was thinking about making a video about. And that the Cities XXL video very well might be coming out soon. I think it'd be really interesting to take a look at that. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think about that. What do you think about city videos like that? We're kind of revisiting some of those and seeing how it is. Acid Dragon, yes, northern Wisconsin. The reason why, you can tell I'm from northern Wisconsin with my accent. When I say things like tag, people always are like, "Whoa, I didn't know you have an accent until you said that word," or not a strong accent. Obviously, everyone has an accent, but you want to know that I have a strong accent? That's the word. My wife doesn't even have that one. So I'm trying to get this to not be totally unreasonable. I think I'm failing extremely bad right now. But we're going to try something like this, and then I'll slope this up from here. And the goal is basically to set a ramp down here and then just kind of upgrade this. So it'll be pretty janky, pretty spaghetti-like. But I think to climb this amount of elevation, it's kind of all we can do. And then I'll switch this to be a highway, and then we'll use Control S inside of TMPE to control everything here. 11:20 p.m. in Pakistan. That's a good time. I'm a night owl, so I'd be awake. Try playing High Rise City. I thought about that. I need to get that. I actually don't have a copy of that one. Cities XL Concepts Influence. They did. Jack, we are live right now. Thank you for being here. Warren, you like how I say tag? Yeah, it's a thing. I didn't even realize that it was unusual until I moved to California, and people were like, "Oh, that's such a cute accent," and I was like, "What? I thought it was normal. I didn't know." So here we talked a little bit about adding those lanes. I don't know how necessary it's going to be to add all of the extra acceleration and deceleration lanes through here. Maybe right here if we have issues, but I just don't know that it's actually going to be a necessary thing. Wait, there's a fire. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I didn't even see that. Well, I'm glad that we've provided some great highway access to this place because the fire trucks, actually, there is not good access here from one direction you can get here. And there's a lot of other stuff happening. Well, we'll admire the fire while I prevent movements on the highway. Of course, this is what would happen. Of course. So I'm just popping through here, Control S, stay in your lane. And I'm inclined to fix this. It's totally unnecessary, but I'll do it. We'll just ignore the fire for a second. In Washington, lottery is 18 and casinos are 21. Yeah, I think that's the way it is in Wisconsin too. So you can, and if there's another Wisconsinite in here and I'm wrong, correct me. But it's just kind of a bizarre set of laws, like why you could gamble one way and not the other. 2:30 a.m. in the Philippines. Get some rest. This will be on VOD. We'll release it right away. I took the SoulCal with me to the game. In terms of having lots of freeways, yes. In terms of fires, that would be an unfortunate thing. That's not a fun thing. I actually, so I lived in the valley when we had some fires, and it was like I worked at 2K. I think I've mentioned this before. Testing Civ, and this is a long time ago. NBA 2K10, BioShock, Civ 4, Beyond the Sword, Civ 4, Colonization, Civ Revolution, Civ Rev, Civ Rev. Dora the Explorer, Billy Beans, Front Office Manager, bunch of random stuff. And just go out, put the fire out, just do it. We had a fire there that got near where 2K was, and I was taken. I can't remember if I rode my bike or took the bus, but I remember getting closer to Northridge and seeing palm trees on fire on the tops, and the smoke getting worse and worse and worse. And as I pull up there, I get an alert on my cell phone. No work today. It's just like, oh boy, should not be there. Just one of those situations, that it's very, very dangerous. So that I a lot of empathy for anyone who has to go through that stuff. That's definitely stinks. Legal age in Canada is 19 to vote, drink, gamble. Drive is 16. So yeah, it's 16 to drive in the US. Oh no, we lost our factory. Oh, that's super sad. Oh my goodness, we've lost a ton of population. We've lost a factory. All just hanging out. Everyone's dying. Wow. I just missed Lead Stream, and the last interchange is a little reminiscent of the bad example from LA. Well, I'm a product of things that I've seen. I never played Alpha Centauri. I'll have to give that a shot. Is there any news on bike-centric infrastructure in Cities Skylines 2? I think the only news is that it was confirmed not to be in the base game. EP, the driving age is different for each province. How does that work? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, worse, it was a warehouse. Oh, yeah. The glass warehouse. Oh, we got another fire? Oh, I'm just going to step away. You know what? We have the power to fix this. Oh, nobody saw anything. Everything is fine. Yeah, so this chat and this stream has been an example of how best to kill your city. That's what we're up to right now, is just making sure that this city does not exist after the stream is done. I'm going to do my best to finish this intersection or this interchange. For this one, I think we'll run it up the side here and maybe carve into the side a bit. And then right here, I don't want this hanging off the side of the water. That would be absolutely unreasonable. But yeah. Was I planning on playing Starfield at all? I didn't, I have Game Pass and it was a day one exclusive. I didn't even put it on. I actually have PC Game Pass too. Bet it's on there. DDI at this road? Well, no. We could, but we're not going to. Speaking of fires, have I heard about the 91 Oakland Hills firestorm? The East Bay has a lot of eucalyptus trees and they exploded. No, I have not heard about that. That is wild. No, I'll have to look that up. I like looking CPP add a tunnel. That is a great idea. We will do that. We will add a tunnel. All right, so let's just grab this and we'll just mirror this on the side. And I'm going to do something very similar to this because we're trying to snake up one road here. We'll basically merge them at some point and then make our way up there. And it's funny. I mentioned that I have these little, I work on these things and I have a picture next to me of what I was trying to create. And this looks nothing like it. It kind of looks like, man, it looks like I defaced this basically. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying my best. I'm the most distracted person ever on stream, but truthfully, I have a lot of fun, so I wouldn't change it. This we're gonna freestyle, and we'll see how bad this gets. So we're gonna bump this out. We'll go maybe 25 meters this time, and the move it reset option is it's so my goal. I'll let you in on this. The next episode is going to be right over here. This whole area is where we're going to do the next one. And I have some creative ways to use Move It. I think I'm going to use it in a way that no one else has before. And it's either going to be absolutely spectacular and you guys will go, oh my goodness, I've got to do this too. Or you'll go, this dude's a madman. What is he doing? He's a buffoon. Just make it stop. I'm really hoping it's the former, not the latter. We'll have to see. I'm going to come at this with some random 2-lane road. VFX Blaze, hey, how you doing? Frontage roads are such an American thing. Are they? Frontage roads generally stink. But they have a purpose in some situations. This one, I feel we're creating this basically to be able to climb the terrain that we have to. Because if we look at our contours here, like this is a pretty challenging spot. So I think we'll probably use a bit of eminent domain right here on this house. And then loop back around and try to come up with some way through the hill to make this work. And it's funny, I'm looking at what I came up with. So what I have in my drawing is that I loop this back around and I come here and I join up right here. And that's really cute. I don't know how I did that. I might let's give it a shot. Let's actually follow my plans and we'll see if I can make it happen. So I will try to loop this around. And or both, it'll be. Will I be rebuilding the airport? Yeah, the whole airport's a disaster. I hate the airport in this city. I think I'm gonna go away from this because I'm nervous about the next thing. This isn't going to exist here. We're basically, I think everything about this area stinks. between having we have a cargo airport right next to this neighborhood. Everyone's dying because of it. And then we've got this airport, which has no access now. So it's not good. I'm thinking that we're going to need to find another flat bluff and relocate it, or we need to completely rethink this whole area up here. So I don't know. Goldney. Just finished watching the Cities Skylines 2 video, and I got to admit that the game looks really promising. I pre-purchased it and can't wait to try it out myself. It is super promising. It's not just like, I will let you guys know without a doubt, in its beta bugged out state, you know, where we have all of these random bugs, it is the most fun game that I'm actively playing. It is my favorite game already. So even though I mentioned a couple of things, like I really want contour view, even with having less content for Cities Skylines 2, it is an excellent game. Absolutely outstanding. So I think that if you've pre-purchased, you won't be sad. If you have Game Pass and you're holding out, waiting for that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, we're auto-saving. Okay. Whew. That was nerve-wracking. I thought we were crashing. Will I start a fire? We already did that. We've done the fire thing. I want to not have any more fires. But yeah, the basically, even with less content, game's absolutely outstanding. I don't think that you will be sad if you bought it. That said, if you do have Game Pass, here's the thing that I keep wondering about, and that I'm hoping we get answers about. If you have Game Pass, is there any reason why you wouldn't just use that? Like, I'm curious about, you know, day one exclusive content, things of that nature. The other thing about Game Pass that I'm curious about is, let's say you have Game Pass, but you want to get Ultimate. Like, do you have to buy the whole thing, or is it just, you know, what is the deal with that? I'm not sure. So I'm going to try to get some answers to that and relay those once I have them. You have PC Game Pass, MPB, MKE, and you pre-purchased. Yeah, that's fair. I think that makes sense. And the other thing is, you know, I don't know how well this will work on a Steam Deck. But I like to have my entire library on Steam, which, you know, there are good and bad things you could say about that. But for me, it's a convenience thing. I just really like Steam. I just like Steam. Fires will happen naturally. Yeah. You'll admit that without the contours, it's a bit strange. Yeah, I'm hoping that they add that. It seems like it's a simple thing. So the thing that was surprising to me is I thought there would be like a hint to it in the info views, and there was no hint to it. Because, I mean, there are things, info views in particular, I didn't show a lot of them because a lot of them there's a problem with the way that they're displaying. And I think it has something to do with the lighting, and they're just really stark white. And if I were to show all of those to you, it's been confirmed that it's a bug and that the fix is coming. If I would show them to you, it would just make the video worse and less fun. So I didn't show stuff like that. But there was no contour view. It's not a thing. So, yeah. You also see your pre-ordering is confidence of Colossal Order. I mean, I don't know. I have mixed emotions about pre-ordering. I mean, I get it, but back in the day, you pre-ordered because you might not get something. I mean, it's a digital product, so you're going to get it. But I also, if you know you're going to play something, then why not? You know, so that's kind of my perspective on it too. Reasonably, and I don't know how many of you are looking forward to info about this. I actually want the physical copy. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to have a box. I've got a bookshelf in my office. I want to display it in there. Do I need the physical copy? Absolutely not. I'm sure the box has a guide and maybe a soundtrack on CD, and I don't even have a CD player. I guess my Xbox and probably a Steam code, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I need to reverse the road. Which road? Oh, yeah, I do. So that is the other, like, so there are three things in Cities Skylines 2 that I don't love. The contour view is one. The way that you reverse roads is the other, and then the lack of overlapping on trees. And those are the only things that I think are steps backwards. But I think that those are all things that could be resolved and could be resolved by a mod. Worst case. Carolina, you would love a physical copy too. I'm not the only one. That's good. There's no info about it yet, though. Bobby, you too. You're old. You like physical copies. Yeah, I think that's maybe my age showing too. It's just there's something exciting. I mean, so I'm the type of person that when I was a teenager, I drove. So in my town, we didn't have a CD store, but I would drive to the next town over to actually go and get a CD. And there's something so joyous about the experience of holding a piece of media in your hand, whether it's, a game or a musical album. There's just something special about it. And you just can't, I don't know. Warren, you're not sure what your kids know what CDs are? Yeah, mine neither. It's one of those things that makes me feel real old. As I say, here's a CD. I think I only have one CD left though, and it's Garth Brooks. I have a Garth Brooks CD because Garth Brooks refuses to be on any platform. Maybe Amazon Music, but I have Spotify and YouTube Music through Google Fi for free. So, yeah. Yeah, and the smell. Yeah, there's a smell associated with physical products and being able to hold it. It makes it feel real to me, which, I just like it. I just like it. I'll never not like it. Let's see. Books are the same. Yeah, man, books especially. The feeling of a book. So my kids love books. And that's something I wish that I loved books as much as they do. But I'm glad that my wife has really worked to try to get them to be avid readers. And I think that my oldest likes reading as much as video games. I'm super proud of her for that. And I think this is actually in a pretty good place, except for some of the terrain stuff that's happening here, but I think it's pretty good. I'm going to lower this down, and then I think I'm going to spend a bit of time. I'll follow a car or something of that nature and just hang out and chat for a little bit. Obviously, this needs some cleanup, but for the most part, I think this is about 1,000 times better than what we had. And turn lanes here, things like that, little improvements around the edges, but I think this is a good demonstration that sometimes less is more. Now, why everyone is dying? Oh, why is everyone dying? Oh, our traffic flow is 47%. What is going on? Oh my goodness. Okay, we can't leave it like this because this is crazy. All right, I'm going to get rid of a whole bunch of roundabouts and see if that fixes things. Oh my goodness. What is going on here? This is insane. Diana, I'm glad that you're glad that I brought Bluffside Crossing back. I don't know that I'm glad anymore. I feel like this was a mistake. 22,000 population lost. Yes, everyone is dying. Let's look at our utilities. We're fine there. Except for university access. And it's just crushing traffic everywhere. That is why everyone is dying. So I'm going to just real quickly simplify a whole bunch of stuff. Let's speed run fixing our traffic and see where we can get it to. So here, get rid of a bunch of stuff. Same thing here. What have I done? Yes, Will, what have I done? Chuckles, yes. The clown. This has been a clown show. It's not, yeah. I've never had 47% traffic flow either. That is why I will tell you, if you guys want to fix your traffic and rebuild interchanges, be on pause and don't have 1,117 people watching you. Because you're going to have a bad time. You're going to have a bad time. Diana, thank you so much for the support. You didn't need to do that. Bluffside Crossing traffic would be better if you added a 64-lane highway. I think we need it right here. That's our problem. It's one more lane, bro. That's what we need. If we did that, we could completely resolve all of the traffic problems here. So maybe that is what our solution is. So as we speed run through this, and I've never been a Cities Skylines speedrunner, but maybe this should be the challenge. I should have just saved the map and given it to people and said, all right, this is the new challenge. Save Bluffside Crossing from itself. And the way that we do that is by saying that all roundabouts are the devil and we get rid of all of them. And we'll see if this fixes it. I'm not feeling hopeful. I'm not feeling hopeful. And then I'm going to speed it up to see if some of this resolves itself. How do I deal with mods breaking? Oh, I don't have to anymore. The game's no longer being updated. So that's helpful. So there is Skyvy. I've used that to troubleshoot my mod situation, but I've also not kept it in my build because I have multiple Windows accounts. It kind of confuses things. But yeah. Joe Sutton, this might be the first time you've actually caught me live. This is the worst time because look at that. We actually increased it by 10% by just eliminating a bunch of roundabouts and watching everyone despawn. So this is a way to resolve your traffic problems. It's just bad everywhere. Maybe, so I took down the number of lanes right here and I think that might've been a problem. Maybe I should keep through this segment a couple of extra lanes. Here's where we have one more lane, bro. Thumbs up. Mama said foosball is the devil. No, fixing traffic on stream. No roads equals no traffic. I mean, we could just despawn everyone in the city and hit it with a meteor. That would also fix traffic. Nah, can't do roundabouts. Yeah, we're done with roundabouts. I've had enough. They're super cute and I'm done. which is hilarious because if I go to the grocery store, I think I have to go through I have two options. 1, 2, 3 roundabouts in a traffic circle. Or no, 4. Or 2 roundabouts. I get either 2 roundabouts or 4. So it's not as though I'm unfamiliar with roundabouts. I mean, it's kind of what we do in Wisconsin. You got a problem with your road, just throw a roundabout there. It's probably going to fix it. but in Cities Skylines, it is not what we do. And this is brutal too. So I want to add a turning lane here and maybe nothing more. And then we'll shift this over to make this look nicer. And then reset that one. There we go. Good enough. Probably should be longer. Yep, definitely should be longer. And then the other thing that we could look at would be all this signalization. There's just a lot of it. Maybe that's part of the problem. And then some spots there's none and it's working just fine. Jakob, my notes: no units, terrain view, line tools, decals, props, fences, easy reverse roads, control of the grid, curved road tools. SimCity 2013 had that. No simultaneous terrace tree planting. Yeah, those are all the things. But I don't really think that any of those are huge concerns. I think that there's some quality of life stuff there that'd be really nice. I think that the lack of terrain view is the biggest concern I have for Cities Skylines 2. And I do think I feel like that's gotta come. But the rest of it, I mean, we're talking about really nitpicky stuff I mean, props, fences, that's probably coming. I mean, just reasonably. And I'm curious if any of you know, did we actually have props and fences in vanilla Cities Skylines base game, or did that come with Park Life? I want to say it probably came with Park Life. The reverse tool, that didn't come with Cities Skylines either. That came with the first update when all the European stuff was added. And before that, you had to delete the road and redraw it in the opposite way. Made it impossible to create a nice roadway network. And then that was added. Curve zoning. Yeah, that's not happening. The terrace. So I've given that some thought since I made the video. I kind of would just like to see some planter bottoms around the trees. Oh, look at this. Our population's rebounding. And our traffic. See what that looks like. 68, another 10%. Things are improving. Look at that. Every roundabout that we remove, the city gets better. So I think we found the solution. Just remove all the roundabouts. This roundabout, you're gonna be up next. Yeah, this one looks like it's a mess. So yeah, this roundabout, you're gone. We've got to move this water tower. Whoa. So we'll get rid of that, and then we should be good. Hold on 1 second. We'll like improve this. And we'll get rid of these because those won't be underneath the road. And I've only got a little bit more time of placing things underneath the road right where they belong. So I'm going to take advantage of every opportunity. Yeah, this, and honestly, so we should be looking at hierarchy here. So this goes, oh, wow, this is a problem. So we could have this connect straight through. This is a commercial corridor. We could go with a collector. So we'll go with a 2-unit collector here. And hopefully that will get people right into downtown fairly easy. That's a really ugly junction, but I think I might forgive it there a little bit. Yeah, that is going to be huge, getting people into this area. And then let's fix this as well. I really don't want to be in downtown. So downtown is how we end the series. So I'm going to try to not get anywhere near downtown. And there we go. So I think that's some improvements. And I'm gonna let this run for just a minute and see where our population's going nuts now. And I'm gonna look at our traffic flow and respond to some of the comments. Let's see where we're at. 70. I think this is the fastest I've ever fixed traffic. And the way that we fix it is to remove all the roundabouts. Rotary roundabout, that's a northeast thing. Small roundabouts plug up easily. Yeah, that's the thing, is all of these roundabouts were just at capacity. If we had larger roundabouts, we could have probably made it work, but that wasn't going to happen here. Yeah, and Matthew, you've got it exactly right. Signals, roundabouts, 4-way stop for volume. Yeah. If you have a large roundabout, you can sometimes make them work, but Cities Skylines is just not meant for that. The great roadway rework of 2023. Except that it's 2106 in here, and we're all dead. So, just watch my Cities Skylines 2 video and saw there's on. Yes, hopefully you enjoyed it. That's one of 3, or one of at least 2. Fingers crossed that we'll be able to do a live stream for one of them. Yeah, and it's because you're absolutely right, Unclean Hippie. It's because they don't work as efficiently in the game as they do in real life. But in Cities Skylines 2, they do work really, really well. And we're stuck at 69%. Oh, 70. And everyone's still dead. I am inclined to not overreact now because I think that things are improving. How many more roundabouts do we have? We've got this here. You know what? We're getting rid of this one too. I just put this in. So there were a lot of comments. Maybe we're going to do a poll. And I'm nervous to do this because every time I give you guys a poll, you guys get an ad. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But I want to know, should I make this an oval about or just eliminate the roundabout? Just keep going. Oh my goodness. Oh, geez. Another. We've had another. So I want to know, should we eliminate this dog bone over here or just, yeah, Welp. Or should we make it an oval about or keep it as is? I'll give you the 3 options. So let's see. Do I usually do my lives about this time of day? Yeah, this I have been. So there's 2 times that I like. One is at night my time, and I like that because if I have a beer with you guys, I don't feel like a bad person. Right now, it's almost 2 o'clock for me. If I have a beer now, it's before my kids get home. That's not right. So I like to do it in the evening for me after everyone goes to bed because I'm the latest. I'm a night owl, or during the middle of the day, and that's the middle of the day makes it good for Europe. Evening makes it good for Asia. So yeah. All right, let's do a poll. What should I do to this interchange? Leave it. Oval about. Or 2 signals. There's our poll. Oh, we're not doing a diverging diamond. Not right now. So this is I want to get my goal. I was going to say 75 would be an excellent place to be before we end and before I just kind of hang up. But we're already there. We're already there. I feel good, but I want to know how you guys feel. And I have a feeling Oval About's just crushing right now. But we're going to wait till at least a quarter of you vote, maybe even more. So Oval Abouts, at least where I live, are very uncommon. So I always forget about them. And I always do this because this is what I see. But that doesn't mean it's the right solution. I think that the reason why we do this is because you're not forced to go around the whole thing. So for instance, let's say whoa, oh no, tsunami. Okay. All right. Maybe this isn't a problem. Okay, no ad. So if you didn't get an ad, it's because I set this up correctly. Oh my goodness. This is Mulligan's fishing village, or at least it was. And we're gonna have some ground to cover on the next video. This is a way to fix traffic. Just eliminate your city. That said, if we're gonna have a tsunami, which is bizarre to have on a river, this is the best place to have it because it'll be completely crushed by the bluff right here. It's just that everyone in this little fishing village is gone. So yeah, surf's up, tsunami. Funny thing is, our population's rebounding everywhere else, so we'll just need to live with this, I guess. Or not live with this. No one's living with this. Poor fishing village. What's wrong with the diverging diamond? Nothing. I feel like if I try to do that on this, it's gonna be a mess. If Mulligan is here, I'm sorry. I did not mean to do this to you. Can we all what emoji should we drop in remembrance of Mulligan's fishing village? How about this one? Just wave it goodbye. We'll need to do something to bring it back. Bluffside Crossing next to Verde Beach, maybe. Seems like it. I'm going to end the poll. Clearly, the Oval About is the overwhelming favorite here, so we will go with the Oval About. Natural disasters do tend to improve city layouts and policies. Yeah, because you have a clean slate. So, unfortunately, it also means that we no longer have fish sticks in all of Bluffside Crossing because the factory's now done. I see party time. We're getting a lot of the party hats. I love that. When is the next video dropping? It's going to be on Tuesday, and it's Verde Beach. Do you guys want to know what the video is? The video title is? Maybe. Let me see. I'll do another poll. No, I won't do a poll. No fish sticks. Yes. If you guys want to know Verde Beach. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Nightmaster, thank you so much for the super chat. In your City Skylines 2 video, you talk and play at a much faster pace than your City Skylines 1 videos. Once the game releases, will you slow down and go at a much more relaxed pace? Yes. I think that City Skylines 2 video is the only video I've had under 30 minutes for a Let's Play. And I recorded 3 hours worth of playthrough and condensed it down to the 29 minutes that we had. Not my preference, but it's what we had. We were given a time limit, basically. We said 30 minutes was what we had to work with, and we could do what we could do in 30 minutes up to the Grand Village milestone. So I gave a couple of attempts. The first one I tried to do just a conversational pace, and I basically built nothing. So I wanted to make sure I accomplished a lot. So, and got to show you as much as I could, which meant that the pace was absolutely insane. And I'm going to keep begging for more time, because I think that for a City Skylines video to be successful in showing you the pace, it's got to be 40 minutes to 60. I mean, 60 I think would be ideal. You liked the pacing of the City Skylines 2 video, Nathan. Nicolay Bay is going to be the following Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that one. That's the next one I record. Let's see. Too much suspense. Oh, the interesting title is going to be creating the largest park ever in City Skylines. And I honestly think I will be making the biggest park ever in City Skylines. Am I going to continue any of the City Skylines 1 games till the end? Do you mean finish the series? So if any of them have potential of staying when Cities Skylines 2 comes out, it's probably Nicolay Bay. Clearwater County, I made an interesting choice at one point to basically deviate from the story that I was going to tell, because I got really nostalgic about the build and couldn't bring myself to do what I was supposed to do to it. And I kind of regret that, because it was kind of how the whole story was supposed to, I guess it was supposed to be a major part of the story of the series. And I couldn't do it. What my goal was to do was basically to blast a gigantic highway through Van Buren and just destroy the city, basically, and then try to revitalize it. I think that at some point that storyline will have to exist in a series. I got to filming the episode where the highway comes into Van Buren, and rather than actually going ahead and blasting through, I just couldn't. And that's why I stopped it there. And as soon as I did that, the series no longer had its original ending. And now I've been freestyling and writing new things, which has been a lot of fun, but also when your ending is gone. Like the whole Johnson's Creek storyline and arc, that was new. So yeah, it was Robert Moses time. I was supposed to go full Robert Moses and just blast it right through, remove a bunch of the rail infrastructure, and then try to bring it back. And I think because so much modding went into Clearwater County, it became really hard for me to actually want to just like completely blow things up. Prohibit the lane change. Where are we seeing the lane change? Oh, right here. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, this is one of those irritating things that we probably should kind of come through and do it. So pick your lane up front and then stick with it. There you go. Keep moving. And then maybe we even make this angle a bit more sweeping. I don't know how successful this is going to be. I'm not sure that that's going to work. Will I wrap up any Cities Skylines 1 cities? Yeah, Verde Beach. Um, Verde Beach is in a real rough spot right now. Just basically every episode that I film, I find a new issue, and it's making it very difficult to film any of them. So I know that I've seen comments asking, when's the next Verde Beach? When is that coming? Uh, the reason why it's been slow is I keep running into game limits. So this time around, I ran into the citizen instance limit. And basically, what that is you can display a certain number of citizens on the screen in your city at any given point in time. And those are citizens that are in transit vehicles, that are in their cars, on bikes, pedestrians, whatever. 65,000 approximately at any given point in time. And yeah, this is terrible. um, I hit that limit. So the way to fix it in Verde Beach would be to get people out of their car or into their cars and out of their bikes and stop being pedestrians to get them around faster. And that is not what I want to do. So it likely means that we're at the end of Verde Beach, but the reason I put a poll in the community tab a while back asking for ideas about ways to basically say goodbye to the series. And at least the build isn't broken. We can still go around, but there are lots of problems with the series. So what is wrong with the oval about? I think extra nodes. So I will try to remove some of these. And then the only other thing that I can think of is maybe more lanes on the exits and better angles coming in. So maybe if we do something like this and then remove additional nodes and then slide this down so that the angle to I don't know what they're doing. So the reason why this would be helpful is if we don't have that extra node here, you kind of have to have the ability to choose your lanes to either decide to go straight or exit. So maybe that helps. And then over here, we'll do the same thing. Oh, that's really tight. It's really, really tight. So yeah, lots of finagling with this to make it work. And maybe this could work. Oh, it's just so ugly. It's just so ugly. I can't do it. Let's see. So I don't know. Without significantly redoing this, I don't know that that's going to work. We'll see. Let's see. I need another way to access that area. Yeah, that's another great point. So right now, we're funneling 100% of our traffic in this area through this interchange. It is a gigantic funnel. So that's a problem throughout this entire build. Very reliant on the highway. And that's not a workable thing. I think I'm going to go back and try this as just a normal signalized intersection or interchange. And let's see if that helps. Is there a stop sign? Oh, I probably should have checked that. I can't undo it. Oh, I can. You won't give me that last one back. Let's check. I think it's just terrible angles. There's just not enough space for this right here. Although, yeah, no, I don't think that was obviously the fix here was to eliminate all movements besides that one. You voted signal. Okay. Any teasers for a Cities Skylines 2 city? I can tell you what I'm thinking. So I am going to go with this. We're going to try the signal. What I'm thinking for Cities Skylines 2 is obviously we're going to do another Ultimate Beginner's Guide. And this time, it's not going to be something that I try to power through. We're just going to keep it around. And there will be, basically, I want that to exist. Whenever there's a DLC or update, we will go ahead and make some, we'll work in that city. And then I want to have another series. And rather than having multiple series going on at once, like we had with Cities Skylines 1, I just want one series with multiple cities where things are happening independently, and then characters move back and forth between those two, or between all the different cities in the region. And I think that one of the reasons I'm really interested in doing that is actually you guys. As I look through and look at what you guys are saying in the comments, some of you will actually watch one series and not another one, and some of you will watch the other series and not the other one. And I'd love to have something that everyone likes to watch. So we'll have to see. Mulligan, I'm sorry. Do you want to see your beautiful fishing village? Oh, there's not a single soul alive. There's not a no one made it. I'm really sorry. So we'll have to fix this, but I think we need to wait. And that might be something that maybe we have a little bit of movement magic. But yeah, the way to fix it, I thought at one point we actually ran a secondary road up here. I don't know what happened to it. So this is a gigantic cul-de-sac right now, and none of these people stood a chance. This is why you don't cul-de-sac places, because imagine if you're trying to evacuate this place, all it takes is one person to have a car accident right here or have their car stall out and everyone dies. So yeah, that's new water park. Yes, this was a not a good situation. Not a good situation at all. Interestingly, even though this whole fishing village got wiped out, our population is still rebounding. So things are improving for the region as a whole. Lee's back in here. Good to see you, Lee. How are you doing, Lee? Everyone died. Can we have a memorial park in their honor? I think that it would be wrong to recreate that area without a memorial park. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that one. And in the next episode, I planned on hitting this area up and fixing this, and we'll also go over here. We'll just make it happen. We'll make it. Well, if we have to make it bigger, we have to make it bigger. That's fine. We'll make it happen. So I'm gonna let this run for a few minutes to see how this works out. But I have a real good feeling about this. I'm just starting to feel like our solution to all of life's problems are just getting rid of all the roundabouts that are over capacity. And if we take a look here, 77%. I wanted to end this series at 80% or better. We're already almost there. We're already almost there. I needed lane math on the oval about. So I had it. I had 3 lanes in the oval about, 2 leading up to each of the roads. So you could pass it through there if you needed to. Am I looking forward to start a new city in Cities Skylines 1? No, we're not. We're not starting any more cities in Cities Skylines 1. We're gonna go cry in the corner for a little bit. We're gonna make this fishing village better than it ever was. It's gonna be so much better. Am I gonna use the Texas traffic light timing? Oh boy, I think I'd have to have you do the time traffic lights. 5B1C Lee, that was all you. I feel like this is like one of those random things that I just never really got good at. I also don't know that we're going to benefit from it just yet. It would be nice just from a visual standpoint, from a realism standpoint, but I don't know that. Maybe actually it's pretty bad right here. We could definitely use some time traffic lights. I might hold off on that one. And maybe that's something I do in a video. Am I ever going to use Michigan lefts? It's an interesting idea. Time traffic lights. Maybe max people to leave the highway. Maybe. Lee, well, I'm missing why you said that, Lee, or why you're giving me that face. I don't think I would let you fix Bluffside Crossing, but the mod list is a mess. Am I planning on continuing the City Skylines 1 series when City Skylines 2 comes out? So 2 answers to that. I will end all of my series gracefully. So any of my series that are ongoing, we will have an ending to. I'm not just gonna end a series and disappear. Oh, there's no music playing. We'll play some music. Sorry about that. There we go. So I will end all the series with an end to the storyline. I mean, is any city really ever done? But I don't know that we're going to carry any through. And I'm already noticing that people are just kind of done with Cities Skylines content. Basically every video I post gets a few less views than the last one. So I think as long as you guys still want to see it and as long as you guys still watch it, I will continue to make it. But if it continues kind of down the path that I see it going, probably not. And I also, it's really hard to go back and forth between the different builds. So at this point, I feel like I'm playing 3 different games. I've got vanilla City Skylines in Verde Beach. I've got modded City Skylines in Nicolay Bay and Nicolay Bay, Clearwater County, and Bluffside Crossing now. And then I've got the new tools in City Skylines too, and they're all so different that I get just absolutely confused. So that is the other thing that is going to really kind of drive my decision making. You still like watching? That's good. Have I built a bigger city in City Skylines 2 already? I have taken the city that I've worked on and I've made it significantly bigger. Performance, I mean, I'm not going to really comment on performance until it's closer to the optimized version of the game. So I would say, hold out on that. We're 6 weeks away, and the last bit of the development cycle is straight up optimization, improving textures, improving performance, improving everything. So, yeah, I think that it's too soon to say anything about performance. Would I ever recreate Verde Beach or Nicolay Bay or stick to a suburban town? So the city that I'm making right now in Cities Skylines 2, it's just for the demonstration purposes right now. It's not going to be my main series. I guess an open question is how much I should have the new city interact with the stories of Cities Skylines 1 cities. My goal has been to probably Mulligan. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to talk to you another time soon. I'm not sure how much to incorporate things. There is very likely going to be a character or two that makes their way over, but I'm curious to know how much of the universe will actually incorporate. We'll have to see. WM, you're still going to be playing City Skylines 1 for a while, so you'll still be watching. That's good to know. I mean, yeah, dude, Chuckles is the one. Out of all the characters, I think Chuckles is my favorite. So, yeah, so I'm on the fence about it. There will be some overlap. I already know that I'm not, like, if my goal were to wrap up all the series gracefully before City Skylines 2 comes out, it's just, I mean, we're 6 weeks away. There's some City Skylines 2 content coming up, and there are rules placed around that content that make it more challenging to create. So just reasonably, I need to give that the time it needs. So I think that it's just not going to be done. So I don't want it to feel like I don't want it to just disappear, and I also don't want it to feel like I'm just rushing through it. So I'll take the time that it needs to finish it. Kevin Rollins has to be the first mayor. Yes, I completely agree. So I've thought about having the cities be in Superior, maybe closer to the Duluth side. It all depends on the maps that are available. That's the big thing. Can I create a list of mods on Steam? I have a number of lists. Bluffside Crossing, that list, I'm never going to fix it. Don't look at the mods in this. It's terrible. And then the other question would be for Clearwater County. That one just kind of got so unwieldy that I would look at the mods I'm using in Nicolay Bay as maybe a better guide. That list I've kept up to date, and it's very good. In fact, it's what I've used to keep Clearwater County moving. Philip has to be found in City Skylines, so we got to have a new Philip. And I really, so here's an open request to all asset creators. I want Leisure Suit Philip. It's not in the game anymore, and I gotta have that. I gotta have that. And I'd love to see Philip with 2 L's, and I should commission someone to make Philip with 2 L's. Just take him and straight up mod him into the game. Is Move It a part of the base game in City Skylines 2? No. But I guess I'd put it this way. It's kind of like how is Anarchy, Roadway Anarchy, is it in City Skylines 2? No. But the vanilla tools are so good that for 75% of people, you might not care. And I think that that's how Move It is too. There are some things that you're going to want the freedom, but I think there's a lot of people who just go, you know, I like what the base game gives me. It's going to be just fine for me. I don't need anything else. And I think that that's completely fine. I think that that's the sweet spot. Let people, if they want to have an excellent vanilla experience, let them have it. And if they want to have a bunch of mods to enhance those tools, then great. And I think that that's kind of where they landed on a lot of these things. Traffic on the exit is still acting funky. It is. This is hardcore cul-de-sac land. I mean, it's not a true cul-de-sac. So we have this exit over here, but it basically is. It might as well be. I'm very curious as to where all of this traffic is coming from. Let's take a look at the routes here. I'm gonna back out. Wow. So this looks like it is coming from the downtown area for some of it. Yeah, or a lot of it is. So I wonder why they're prioritizing the highway. Oh, I get it. In the previous episode, we had this road here that was a 20% grade all the way down, and we eliminated that. And that local connection being gone has meant that everyone has to get on the highway right here. So this is not a simple fix. We basically need a new local road, and we need to work with our contours. So I probably should have done this in the last episode. I've been thinking of basically running a road up the side here and trying to gradually come up. And that's probably the solution. You're thinking of diverging time. I think not funneling all the traffic onto the highway is the solution here. I'm going to do something. I want to get real quick and dirty with this. So let's just save this as is. And then we'll create a connection right up to downtown, and I'll just see what this does. So we'll even prioritize that movement because this movement isn't really all that important anymore. So let's create that and we'll see. No time like the present. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it live. And in the meantime, I should have. I always forget the shortcut to quick save. Even in City Skylines 2, I want to say maybe it was Biff that mentioned what it was, and I totally forgot what it is. I have no idea. So we're gonna go with something totally terrible. What is quick save? Famous last words. This is going to be, and of course, we're coming into this roundabout, the thing I've been trying to avoid. Totally disrespecting the topography. And we're going 2020 wild right now. But sometimes you got to. We'll see how bad it is. I feel like this might not be that bad. I feel like it might be okay. No, it's bad. But if we adjust it 5.1, and we'd have to bridge it or something like that. if we wanted this to actually exist. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. Like this corridor, oh boy, look at that. That is brutal. So if we tried to make this reasonable, and I initially in the last video, I had a demonstration of this. 8.1 is definitely okay, but look at that height. We'd have to have this crazy bridge. Let's just do it. We saved already. We're just having fun. We could do this. And this is kind of what we're looking at. And I don't think anyone wants to see that. What do you guys think of this? It's pretty terrible, isn't it? And then we'll come from IKEA and reroute over. So that could be a thing. We could do that. Although, yeah, that slope's pretty bad. So we'll lower that there and then pull this all the way back and see what we end up with. Okay, 8.4. So I think the slope's good. I think that we would need to remove a bunch of the trees we just planted and soften this. So let's just, yeah, we're sledgehammering hard right now. And I'm curious how you guys feel about what I just did. So obviously with the traffic that this is already carrying, this is an important corridor. But should we be doing it? This would be the most expensive bridge. Looks good. Doesn't look bad. All right. T3 Poo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for helping me be a better city builder. I appreciate the kind words. I'm just really appreciative of all of your guys' support throughout the years right now, just generally. So yeah, tunnel bridge. This road is necessary. I think you're right. I think it has to stay. This is a necessary evil. This is how I really hate that this is actually, I think that the best solution would be to have this road not going into this interchange and to have a way into this neighborhood where you're not fighting with the traffic on this interchange. But we also are very space constrained. I'm going to speed this up and hop in chat for a second and we'll see what this does. And I'll leave the traffic 71. You've definitely drove over something like that in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe we just keep it. Maybe this is something that this is something that we have to do. It's a lovely road. It is. This would be an interesting road to go down. It should be along the hillside. So that would be the one improvement if I weren't just being quick and dirty about this. I'd have this closer to the hillside so that we could use, and maybe that's the improvement that we could make here is just to be on the hillside, because then we wouldn't have to bridge quite as much. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty interesting. And I wonder, why don't we we'll slow things down, we'll turn off some of this. Let's take a ride up here. I'm getting stuck in that tool for whatever reason. Oh, and I don't have first person camera. Bummer. Well, we can get a feel for this right here. Oh, you're going the wrong, you're going to IKEA and driving through power lines, apparently. Let's try again. Let's try again. All right. Bus routes. So that's another interesting thing. So we had a commuter bus route that used to use that road, and I think that those all got relocated to the highway. So adding this road back likely means that the buses go down here. We should look to see if we see any. I don't see any yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're all using this, because this is likely much more direct. A little bit up. So a couple of trees on the road, not a big deal. Oh, there they are. There's the commuter buses. They were heading down. So yeah. If we put it on the hillside, just like EP says, this could work. Are you subscribed? Frugal 4, you're subscribed to the channel? I don't know. It does look very scenic to be. Yeah, it is very scenic. But I also do think it would be better if it were closer to this. You know what? This will be the last thing that we do. Because this is necessary. Look at all the traffic it's carrying. So I'm gonna leave this one to you guys. Should we move it to be closer to the hill, or should we leave it as is? So let's ask this. Move road to hill. Yes or what to do? The best way to phrase this. What to do with this road? Move against the hill. Leave as is. So here we go. There's the poll, and I'm going to do whatever you guys want me to do. If you guys want me to leave this as is, we're going to leave it. And we need to get at least 50% of the people in here. There's 1,180 people right now. So if we get half, that's what we'll do. Hello from Hastings. Hello. How's everything in Hastings right now? Nick brings up a great point. For wildlife, this would be much better. Wildlife could pass us. The moment we put this against the hill, we also should have a wildlife crossing most likely. Otherwise, this would be an absolute mess for animals. Otherwise, this is perfect. That said, I think we would still need to have a bridge to get over here. So I think that we would just basically bridge over the top of this low point and then come across here. So it's not a huge change. But we'll see what you guys say. We're getting, it looks like right now, moving against the hill is winning. What would be realistic? Oh boy. I mean, I guess I could see both happening. I think that if you're looking at a purely financial standpoint, maybe moving against the hill, perhaps this industry wouldn't want this here though. If there's a bunch of blasting, maybe you want this further away. It's hard to say. Fix trees. Well, either way, we'll fix the trees, yes. Disrespect the topography. Thank you for the support, Frugal. I appreciate that. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. Reminds me of the interstate in Northwest Arkansas. Tunnels at each end through the mountains with a really tall bridge spanning the valley between. Yeah, so that's the thing. When you have terrain like that, you could see some pretty wild stuff. Plank, you want an EIS? No one wants that. We'll be done with this in 10 years. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so there's Bitman makes a good point. Realism, build it into the hillside. Golden says if we're being super realistic, we probably just leave it as is because it's already built. So, make the topography respect you. I've been doing that all day. The top is a strip mine. Animals not such a concern. Good point. There are no animals over here. And we have a bit of urbanization up here. So yeah, we're probably not a big concern. Make the new road before you destroy the old one. Okay, I could get on board with that. So we've got 357 votes. That's not quite half, but I'll show you what I would think of. So basically, we would take this and put it right about here. And we'll get this to be ground level. And that is about where we would just have it go straight down. And then honestly, and I'm gonna need to pop this back up because coming down at we're actually dipping down into the ground. We're not at ground height, so we'll fix that inside and move it. So I just want to bring this up to the terrain height. And then we'll make the topography respect us with the slope tool. So this would more or less be the road that we would be building instead. So we would be blasting into the side of the hill, and then our bridge, rather than being this gigantic bridge, would be a shorter bridge right here. I think that that would be much more realistic, reasonably. But yeah, bridges like that are quite common in parts of the US. Yeah, honestly, in Tennessee, there were some monster bridges like that, but I want to say that in some of the locations, it was a bi-directional divided, interstate highway, and you'd have one road that was actually on the ground and the other that was a bridge. It looks sad and boring as not a bridge. Yeah, I mean, I like the bridge, but I do think that this is much more reasonable. And from the poll, I think we're going to leave it here. We'll say goodbye to our friend the bridge, but I will commemorate the bridge. Here's what we'll do. I will let's just get rid of this for a moment. And then we'll snap a beautiful picture of this. And I'll put that in the community tab. And anyone who wants to remember this bridge can do so. And then we'll just undo this back into place and blast things away. And that right there is probably a better solution. Even if it is boring, I understand it's boring. But we don't build infrastructure to make it interesting. At least that's not the way you should be building it. There we go. And then we'll get rid of some of the trees through here. And what is going on with my forestry brush? There it is. Yeah, that I hate to admit it, guys, but I think that this was the right call. As much as I liked the bridge, I think I agree with the majority in this particular instance. So solid choice. Good on you guys. I want to grab some of the trees here, and we'll just do a bit of the tree spamming. Yeah, that just looks pretty reasonable. That's the best I could say. You take back your vote. The bridge looked better. You want runaway truck ramps? Yeah, we have to do something like that here. Any chance you might showcase the vehicles driving around? I'm very curious. Okay, so when you say that, are you talking about Cities Skylines 2, Alley the Pretty Gator, or are you talking about in here? Because I thought about that for the city tour in the last video, is actually doing something more like that. Oh, bad shot. You thought that I was just moving the bridge closer. No, I was thinking blasting in. New pole, bring back the bridge. Okay, all right. So, okay, well, I will. Let's do it. Bring back the bridge. I'll bite. Here's that pole. I think you guys are just going to vote exactly the opposite of how you did last time. So now it's bring back the bridge is winning with over 60% of the vote. Well, I can undo it. Robin wants a bridge that hugs the hillside, please. Okay. So as I corrupt the vote, so I could just do something like that. And now we've bridged up here. And then I could flatten this, or feather this out a bit to make it look a little bit more reasonable. Bobby, poll to never end the stream. I've been thinking about having a way to keep the stream going with the City Skylines 2 first stream. We need to build the bridge. This is a close one. Now it's 58 to 42. Build the bridge back bigger. I don't think anyone wanted that. Democracy. This is why we don't have a democratic process for infrastructure choices like this. You get to a public meeting and it's, do you want this one or this one? Which one do you like? You don't, not what should our bridge look like? It's how big should it be? Like, yeah, I was thinking of subathon. Add curves to better follow the contours. The problem is we're not, I mean, we just basically be pulling it over a little bit more over here. There's not a ton that we'd be doing to change it a lot. Impeach the mayor. So yeah, a tunneling, that is another option. We could, I mean, I think that we'd have to go further over, but tunneling would be another option. Like grabbing a bit of this. If we were further into the mountain, we could tunnel and pop out a couple of times. Can this be Senate rules, not majority rules? Oh, it's 60-40, so that would be. You know what? I wonder, is it even possible to bring the bridge back? Undo, 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 undo. Oh no. Is that the extent of my undo? I think that's it. It's moving trees around. Okay. Oh, car tornado. That's the way that we fix traffic, and that might be the end of it. Oh, still going. How far back does this undo tool work? Yeah, so I think that we aren't bringing the bridge back, but I could redraw it and try to do a better job. And I think that's what we'll do to end the stream is I will get this bridge back better than it was. So let's eliminate this and go for round 3. And I feel like this is the true City Planner Plays stream experience. I did take a picture. I did. Let's see. Let's bring that picture back and take a look at it. Where is it? All right, I think I almost have it. Bear with me for 1 second. There we go. So we will, I think if we're going to do this, it has to be cooler. If we're gonna do a bridge for vanity, for the sake of vanity, it's got to be better than this. So we're not going to use this. I'll use this for now, but what we'll do is find a better bridge, something more dramatic, maybe something like that. Maybe we just do it right now. And we'll just kind of weave this along the side of the hill. And obviously we need to not have trusses on the entire bridge, but we'll put it in the center. And let's slope this out. I don't know. Maybe I don't like this. Maybe I don't like the idea of the trusses. I don't know if that's better or not. I don't know. Yeah, I think I might have. I think I might have made this worse, guys. I think I'm failing you, and I am deeply apologetic. Let's see. Make the old bridge. No. Oh, content creator pack bridges for different styles. What bridge would work well? What bridge would work well? I mean, I think that this is probably a bit much. I mean, that's... Old truss bridge is better. Truly disgusting. I think this looks a little bit better. Let's see what else we have. So I don't want 6 lanes here. That seems like it's a bit much. And then here's the European variant. That seems like it's almost too ornate for something like this. And the other option would be going 2 lanes. That's not right. That's not good. So yeah, I think it's either the American or the European version here, if we're gonna go with one of these. Mountainside again. Definitely better than the trusses. What about the European? All right. We have democracy in a way that is probably unhealthy. Which one? 2U original, American, European. So here's the poll. And I'm going to end this one after like 30 seconds. So if you want to vote, do it right away. And this is not an indictment on which place you'd rather be in or visit or whatever. This is just about the bridges. And if you want to be in a place, 2U original, that's the place. Will, you're voting American. Or totally vanilla. The freedom one. Cody, if you voted for the wrong one, you should be able to change your vote. As a Canadian, make it American. I mean, truthfully, Canadians are North American, so. Replace the whole thing with a cable car. We've already done that. We need more. This is something to ask Landman. Diana, you still in here? Unscripted CPP building is the best. It's something. It's messy, but we're going for it. Yeah, I do need a real civil engineer to review this. I don't think that... I'm not sure that RCE would be very impressed with me right now. And I'm ending the poll. We're going with the American bridge. It is very clearly the winner in this case. We're going to roll with it. And truthfully, I dig it. I dig it. I think it's a good choice. So I appreciate all of your participation in helping to figure out what we do here. Let's get this upgraded. We'll keep this same look and feel here. The interesting thing is this will destroy our roundabout. So that is the next roundabout to go, because that's what we're doing today. We're not one roundabout was spared during this stream. And in fact, after this, I want to see what we're looking at in terms of roundabouts. Are there any left in the city? Or am I going to have to really be nervous the next time I talk to Biffa? RCE would do nothing but bridges? Yes, yeah, we would just bridge the whole thing, call it a day. And we'd have the strongest shape. So, which I'm sure that if you look hard enough in here, you'll find it. Kill the roundabout. Yeah, we're done. Goodbye, roundabout. It's been nice. It's been real. But it hasn't been real nice. And we're done. We're done. Goodbye, roundabout. And then we'll node controller the rest of this. So here's the thing about this build. there's just basically an unlimited number of things I want to do. Like we're over here and it's just like, oh, I want to fix this road. I'd like to go that way. I just want to keep doing everything. Why not just convert the entire map to bridges? I mean, that's something we could do with Ron. That's a good idea. The end should be a tunnel. You mean right here? I like that. I like that. Let's see. Design Candy. Just finished a Cities Skylines 2 video. So awesome and inspiring. Makes me want to make videos again. Please do it. I love your videos. Thank you so much for the support. Your videos they're next level. And that's, so I'm glad that, oh, there is no bridge version of this. Okay. Or there's no tunnel version. One thing that I've really been hoping for with Cities Skylines 2 is that folks like Design Candy that haven't been putting things out for a while come back. So there are a number of creators I'm really hoping that we see come back to the scene, because it's just, it's a new thing. It's a new thing. But thank you so much, Design Candy. Very, very appreciative for the support, and very big fan of the stuff that you've put out yourself. Will, you want a highway, so you don't like sidewalks, is what I've heard. Drawbridges. So I think that what we're going to do here is we'll try to fix the terrain. So I'm going to use this set slope mode, and we'll fudge it a bit. Here's the thing. I don't know what any of this looked like anymore. I've come at this thing so hard, both now and in the past. I don't know what anything is supposed to look like. So we are just going our own way. I probably need to talk to Scotland Tom and ask how he feels about what I've done to his map. It's not been pretty. I've done some things. And then I don't think these are necessary, because I want to say through 81 tiles, I disabled them because things were so messed up. Yeah. Gosh. I like that. So this is nice. I'm a huge fan. Walking is for chumps. All freeways. Will, you don't like sidewalks? You just like living in Wooners and just like, that's all? No sidewalks necessary? Share the road. That's a legitimate stance on honestly. And I'm going to add some trees back here, and then we'll remove them because I went too hard. You loved that valley. Yeah, it was a nice valley. It was a nice valley. And I think gotta get rid of that pillar. It's just kind of hanging out there. And obviously we've got to finish this all the way up to here. And I don't know what we do in the center here. That good enough. I'm good with that. I'm just very curious what our traffic flow is at right now. 75. And I think that 75 is fine. We'll deal with this. One of the episodes that we're going to have for this series is fixing traffic. So I don't want to fix too much of it now. I didn't mean to fix all of it. Well, you actually enjoy sidewalks. Okay, good. I was starting to question you a bit. You just barely build them. Okay. Will is the anti-Jane Jacobs. Will I slope the bridge? Yeah, I can give that. I thought I got it, but we'll give it one more shot. We'll come back all the way to here. Yeah, we've already got it. It's, unless we were to take it all the way back to here, I don't really want to go all the way back. Maybe to there. And it's already, I mean, I'm afraid I actually break the tunnel, so we're just going to leave it. Warren, you want to move out of the town now that I'm filling in the valleys, huh? Is there a fire? Where's the fire? There's no fire. There's no fire. And our population's almost back to where it was when we started. I feel like if there ever was, oh, geez, there is a fire. Okay. The high school's a goner. The high school's a goner. Was there a second tsunami? Or was this just the one? It's hard to, I mean, this is such a weird map to have tsunamis on. I feel like that was something that should have been a part of the, of natural disasters, is actually a toggle for disasters on a map. So you could choose what types of disasters actually happen on a map. So this is a great map for tornadoes, for instance. I mean, it's a real weird way of putting it, but you know what I mean? Like this, I'd expect to see tornadoes here. I expect to see fires. I would not expect to see a tsunami. So, or an earthquake. So yeah. And yeah, it's probably that the teenagers smoking out back of the high school and they burnt down their entire neighborhood as a result. But thankfully, we've got some excellent firefighters here. Things are good. We don't have excellent. I'm going to blame this not on the planner, but on the traffic engineers. I'm a big picture guy. So I think that we are going to I'm going to sit in chat for a few minutes and I'm going to focus on something here. We'll take a car, a bus, whatever you guys want. So let me know in the comments what you guys want to see. And then I will sit and chat for a couple minutes and answer any questions that you might have about Cities Skylines. Anything that I can answer anyway. There's only a couple things I can't talk about, I think, right now, but most things I can. You'd expect an earthquake over a tornado. Huh. Yeah, we're going to do the time traffic light as part of the transportation fixes. Add another exit. Yeah, I think that we could probably use an exit right about here. Unfortunately, that's probably a fine spot. Also, this is terrible. That's way too sharp. There's no reason why that should be like that. I'm not sure why I did that. When are we going full-time streamer? I don't want to be a full-time streamer, but I do want to have a schedule. And I think that there's a very real possibility that instead of having the Thursday video, I do a Thursday stream every week. And then alternate the times of day that it is. So yeah. Does Cities Skylines 2 allow for right turn on red? Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look that up. I'll look for that. It's a good one. The highway does look bad. It looks very bad. You know what? This is an easy fix, so we're just gonna do it. Because I don't know when to end. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, that's 1,000 times better. Yeah, so the schedule I'm probably gonna put on my website, and it'll just be Thursday, and that's it. We have another fire. We need to leave this place. Obviously the fire protection's not up to snuff because everything is on fire, and I'm planting all the trees. Is there forestry? Actually, that's what I need to do. I didn't add any fire protection up here. It was pointed out in the comments about 1,000 times. So need to do that. Turn off traffic lights. I don't know where you're talking about the traffic lights being turned off. Over here? Okay, I'll bite. We'll try that. Let's see. Let's get super weird with it. Now, obviously, this is a terrible idea. We shouldn't be putting a yield sign or a giveaway at an interchange like this, but we'll do it. We'll see what happens. Now I'm gonna have to fix a highway bridge too. Yeah. We need a ton of fire watchtowers. So I am going to kind of leave this though right now, and if you guys have any questions, I will go through it. Democratic votes for a CPP subathon. Yes, that I will try to figure that out. I'll try to figure that out. Warren, thank you for being here. This time for Star Trek days. Cool. Have fun. Fill with the game. You hang up now. Yes. And I think we are going to leave this here. You know what? I really had a good time with you guys today, and I really want to appreciate all the support, all the super chats, all the time that you've spent with me today. I mean, from between the video and the stream, at this point, we're looking at you guys hung out with me for like 4 hours today, which is pretty wild. You've watched multiple fires, multiple disasters. We've had a death wave. We've rebounded the city. We've had some democratic votes on our infrastructure, and in general, I think that you guys have helped make this a better city. This interchange complex over here, it's working. Things are looking good. I'm feeling good about where we're leaving this. So I think that we are going to leave this here. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Thank you so much. It's Friday. There's a million things you could have been doing. You decided to hang out with me, and I really appreciate you. I will be doing this more. This is probably one of my favorite things to do, is just to have time to chat and interact with you guys and hang out. And I really appreciate your time. So does the party continue on Discord? I think my kids actually, I realized my kids are probably going to be getting off the bus in a couple of minutes. So I might pop on Discord, but it may be after they get back. So we'll see. Oh, geez. Another fire. We'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Take care. Have a great weekend, everyone. And remember, check out all the other City Skylines creators videos. Tons of great ones out there. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.